America prepares. All America alters its pattern of life and work to meet the demand for protection. Industry is a double step to supply the sinews of safety, the armaments of war that an embattled world must have if democracy is to survive. Mechanical genius joins with the muscle of millions of men, working to win for the ways of freedom. Freedom to think, to speak, to rise, live, and plan with one's fellow man. America's vast resources are harnessed to the job of being the world arsenal for this and other democracies. Its present-day production of armaments is but a mere fraction of the great job that lies ahead. The flow of production in plant and shipyard gains speed. Vessels of all types, carriers, merchantmen, submarines, slip off the ways in growing numbers.
All right, and welcome back to Blades and Blasters. We are sitting down to play Delta Green tonight, and this is Operation Closed Shutter. So last time we went out into the field with our good agents, Dr. Howard Green and Graham Milne, and they were investigating the loss of, or the abduction of Walter H. Thompson, the personal bodyguard to Winston Churchill. Their travels took them to the continent, and in their investigations, they discovered that at the internment camp of Vattel, that some strange occurrences were going on, but Thompson wasn't there. As they progressed further into an area called the Range, that's where things began to get a little bit more weird. And in the process of their investigation, unfortunately, Graham Milne lost his life. They were able to confront the German soldier that went by the moniker the Huntsman or the Huntmaster, and they were able to defeat him through some clever use of grenades and exploding generators. And with that, they found some just mysterious things, rooms of chalkboards with equations on them, on top of altered swastikas and things like that. It made them all uneasy. But when they came back, some months have passed. So for Air Doctor and Howard, sleep has been uneasy for you over these past months. It doesn't happen all the time, but you begin to have these strange dreams where you feel like you're suffocating, but you can hear people around you. You can hear crowds. They're chanting, they're cheering, they're having conversations, but it's so cacophonous that you can't quite make out what they're saying. And let's see. Yeah. So for that, it's been turbulent sleep for you lately. Now, when you return and you have had your downtime, we're going to have some home scenes here first before we introduce our new characters. So I forgot to put that up. I apologize. But where is the book? Let me pull that up. So for home scenes, there are a couple of different things that we can do as agents here to progress the story, progress our characters, and just kind of, cool our heels a little bit. So I believe, our Doctor, you burned some of your bond last session, correct?
Yeah, once I had used my bond.
Okay, so
I think it went from 8 to 7, maybe.
Okay, so that signifies game mechanic wise that things you are projecting onto your bond that things aren't so good. Your relationship is starting to break down. So let's jump into that here. During one of your therapy sessions that you're having with your therapist, he he's going, well, Doctor, how have things been going for you lately? And
yep.
Sorry, just
No, go ahead.
keep in mind that your bond with this individual has broken down a little bit. So however you want to role play that. But what is your therapist's name?
He must be an American, right?
Yep,
Some
he can
American. Dr. Allenheim?
Dr. Allenheim, okay. All
Sounds
right.
old enough to be an appropriate person, because I don't think anybody would sit like a 25-year-old with a doctor.
No, probably not.
No.
All right. So yes, how have you been feeling out? And I understand things have been a little trying lately, and tensions in the continent across the pond there have been raising. So tell me how that makes you feel.
Well, I can't really talk about all the things, from back where I came from, and I know that you, even though you say you don't, you do judge me for some of my methods, even though they are well justified for the outcomes. Um, I'd yeah, someone died on the last mission. Again, I believe you're classified for me to speak to you about that. Is that right?
That's correct. You died. Well, that's unfortunate. Were you close to them?
No, I was about 7 meters away, so no problem, really.
Emotionally, were you close to them, Doctor?
So he stops a little and just looks around. No, why?
Well, you lost someone when you were out in the fields.
No. He was right there.
I understand. We're having one of those sessions today. Doctor, for you to come back into society, it is important for you to establish connections with the people that you're around, that you work around.
Speaking of connections, they seemed horrified when I got the information out of a German soldier by just, what I considered still to be fairly civil means. And they did not seem to like that very much. So I don't know. I mean, I was told they would all be very competent, like me. Of course, not brilliant, but competent. But it was. There's a lot of hesitancy I see in the people around me to do what must be done for the ultimate supremacy of the United States. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what exactly happens? And it devolves into there
Yeah.
to where the therapist just kind of, you can tell that he is actually a little disturbed into the depths that you have gone into to
Mhm.
get information out of that person. He
Yeah.
doesn't show it so easily, but you can see he's scribbling furiously on his pad, and he goes, right, well, I'm going to make sure that we get just a little extra laudanum for you, okay, just to help you sleep a little better. And maybe remember, we have to focus on those interpersonal connections.
Well, no, no, you don't know. If you could, I know you've write down a lot because you don't remember everything like I do, but um, I requested a long time ago for my own laboratory, and I have an extensive list of literature and artifacts that I requested would be acquired, possibly from my old lab in Berlin. So that is the laudanum is pille-palle. I don't care about that. I need to be able to continue my work for my new masters.
Right. I'll go ahead and add that in for to the request there for you. And
Right.
he gestures for you to leave, and you can hear him scribbling furiously down and muttering things under his breath. But let me get the home scenes up here in just a moment.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, the
that was.
character is described as awkward, so I'm trying to play him awkward.
Oh no, it's good.
Okay.
Now. All right. So, Howard, what have you been up to in your downtime?
I think he's been writing letters back home to his family and to his friend. Just kind of checking up on things. I don't know that he's heard back or anything or what that would be like, but other than that, he's probably trying to get some rest and is frustrated by the nightmares he's been having. So he's sleeping a lot during the day, and he's probably let his beard go quite a bit, although
Okay.
he's largely kept up with keeping his head shaved. I don't know. I don't know what he's really been doing. What sorts of things are there to do in the downtime in this place?
You know what? I am actually getting those up here right now. Let me just... Why didn't that load? That's great. Let me drop that in. And right now you can do... There are a couple of other things here that you can do, but one of the few things that you can do is fulfill responsibilities, establish a new bond, back to nature. For those of you who have lost sanity, you can go to therapy.
I will go to therapy.
Okay, so going to therapy. Now that is... so your agent decides whether you're going to truthfully tell the therapist what caused the sand loss. Now, are you doing that, or are you embellishing a little bit?
I think he's probably telling the truth, because the main things that caused him to lose sanity were, I think, the wheat growing underneath that house, and then the Nazi flag. That was weird.
Okay.
So 2 things that I don't think he feels a lot of personal attachment to, and that he'd feel a need to, like, hide or manipulate the stories.
Okay. So with that, then let's see. The therapist tells you. Sorry, it's been a while since I've run a therapy session on an agent. So if you're... Okay, so I'm going to say that this therapist is pretty run-of-the-mill, but he has a 60%. So 42. That's a success. So if it succeeds, your agent regains 1d6 sanity. So let's do that. Hey, regain 6.
Hey, nice.
And then, okay. And Herr Doctor, what are you doing for your home scene?
I wonder if him talking to someone that's has knowledge with the occult to talk through all those unsettling things could help him stabilize a little as well. I think what he doesn't react well to as much is his assigned psychologist just focusing on the mushy feelings and connecting with people. But what could really be good for him is to talk shop with someone, especially because his the last contact he lost, or bond that he lost, was a colleague, right?
Yes.
That he had really bonded with on the subject matter, and that sort of kept him sane for a while, or maybe that was the counterweight to his madness.
Okay.
So would that be building a new bond, or would that be just I get assigned maybe a scientist? Because I'm assuming the U.S. division has some sort of mad scientist lab as well that he could be assigned to, that he could then work at, and that might socialize him, because he's not just sitting there thinking about his own theories.
Yeah. So for that,
So it's not a run-of-the-mill therapy, but I think for him, sort of try and make it fit for him.
You're looking for a shop buddy, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm looking for someone that he can talk to without feeling immediately judged.
Yeah, that sounds like establish a new bond.
Great.
So it means that you're going into essential part of your agent's life. So attempt a charisma ×5 check.
Okay, so that would be under 40. Do I just click the green charisma?
Yep, that should work for you.
Okay. Yep,
hey,
that works.
Success, perfect. Okay, so with a success, you establish a new bond with a score equal to half your agent's charisma.
4?
So, yep.
So just press plus and just make a new one?
Yes.
Okay.
So, also, unfortunately, though, devoting so much attention to the new bond reduces the value of one other bond. So reduce your therapist bond by 1d4 points.
Or 1d4. Okay, sorry. Maybe put that back at 7. /roll 1d4. 3.
Okay,
so down to 4.
Yep.
Maybe I neglect a few sessions because I'm back working with someone else.
Yeah,
I feel it's much more important to decipher all this crap.
He's definitely writing furiously that your progress is getting hampered by your missed therapy sessions.
Yeah. Do you have a cool name for the the new person that I bond with?
Let's see here.
Anyone? I mean, any suggestions from any of the players are fine by me. I assume it would be some sort of scientist.
Let me see. I got Ethan Hamilton.
Great. I'll call him Professor or Doctor. Do you have a preference?
No, what would you prefer?
There's already tons of doctors around, so maybe he's a professor.
Okay, and there are all 3 home scenes for you. I will make sure that those are down in the handout folder.
Oh, home scenes. Interesting.
Yep, so in between each session, if your character survives, you have home scenes that help flesh out your character a little bit more, improve your character in one way or another, or progress the narrative as a whole. So that's what we just had there. So as you're called back to your respective office in London, you once again are shuffled in a car or a vehicle to a new place. You're not going to Westminster, but you're instead going to the outskirts of town. The area doesn't appear to be very heavily inhabited. You don't see a lot of people around. You don't see a lot of vehicles around. And also notably, there's not a lot of bomb buildings. And at this point, the Blitz is ended. So you don't have to necessarily worry about that now. But this is the exterior of the building here that you have all pulled up to. And as you go inside, there is several people running around with a lot of books against the wall there, and you see people that are furiously studying. It's not a large group. There are roughly probably about, I'd say, 7 to 10 people that are devoted to studying, writing things down, and you hear, or they are listening, I should say, to something you're unable to determine. But as you both come in, I am going to go down the list here once again. And Aki, introduce your new character as you come in and see the other 2 already waiting for you.
Yeah, so Irving Reed kind of walks in. He's got slightly scruffy, short, brown red hair. Fairly clean cut aside from that. But he wears almost full fatigues, essentially. He looks like he's in the army proper. And he approaches. He's pretty tough looking, wiry, lithe, but he looks like he's seen some battles. He's a rather stern look on his face as he approaches.
Okay. And then lastly, we have Thaddeus.
Thaddeus is an older gentleman. Gray hair, bushy mustache, wire rim glasses. Very neatly dressed. Nice suit and coat. Little doctor bag. He stands up. Thaddeus Mosby, MD, at your service, gentlemen.
Irving gives a nod to the others and to Thaddeus. Irving Reed, good to meet you.
The doctor will try his get up, enthusiastically walk towards Thaddeus and try and shake his hand.
Thaddeus, very excited to shake your hand as well.
Nice. Yeah, he does this like double handshake, right, where he grabs the hand with both hands and says, "Ah, it is very good to meet someone who spent many years improving their craft. My name is Wilhelm Stahl, but everybody calls me a doctor on account of me being very well educated, you know. And this strapping man over there, you do what, Mr. Irvine?
I'm a soldier.
Oh, good. Yeah, the last one exploded on a grenade, you know. We needed a replacement."
He kind of raises an eyebrow. I lost people already. That's not good.
No, I know exactly where he is.
He raises the other eyebrow. Kind of looks to Thaddeus and towards Howard.
It is a pleasure, as he walks over and tries to give him a hand too, right? And says, "It is a pleasure meeting you as well, Mr. Irvine."
Yeah, he shakes his hand. He's got a rather stern grip, but
Nice.
it's clear
He
he's
says-
not trying to be aggressive or anything.
Yeah, he says, "Oh, nice, strong grip. You got strong hands."
Thank you. I haven't done anything quite like what it sounds like we'll be doing, so I'll be looking to all of you for guidance.
Oh, that's interesting. What did they tell you?
Not a lot. They'll be doing some careful work. Some strange things, it sounds like, might come up from what I've heard of the brief of the last mission.
Ah, yes.
Howard just kind of like looks at all of them and maybe smirks a little bit at the doctor's enthusiasm for meeting the new people. He'll stand from his chair and will walk over towards Thaddeus and then towards Irving. The name's Howard. Good to meet you.
As I said, Irving Reed, good to meet you.
Yeah, I caught it.
Pleasure, Howard. Pleasure.
And Irving extends a hand towards him and then towards Thaddeus as well.
Shakes both their hands.
Mr. Howard here is a mechanic engineer. I think, yeah?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
soldier.
Yeah, heavy weapons, I noted when you introduced yourself.
Suppose that'll be useful. I myself, like I said, I'm a soldier. I have some experience with comms, but nothing out of the ordinary.
When do you think the US will join the war?
Irving shrugs. I suppose we'll see. Need something big enough to bring him on in, I guess. Or perhaps they'll just get bored of waiting.
Well, yeah. That would be very interesting. You know, normally in war times, scientists like myself get more funding. So, you know, that would be good.
So as you all do your meet and greets, there is a shorter man that has white hair that comes in. Both our doctor and Howard, you recognize him. This is Colonel Gray, and he says, "Yes, everyone's made their introductions to each other. Great, excellent. Now, I have a new mission for you all." And we have our new recruits here as well, so this is a perfect time to get right into it. First of all, the excavations from the house that you previously visited have gone underway, but we stumbled across something that I need you all to take a look at. So follow me, and he goes into a back room. And as you walk in, there is a body on a table that you can see the silhouette as the sheet covers it. But as you look on it, it appears to be malformed already from the immediate site. The sheet is sagging in places and jutting out in others. He goes, "Now I have to warn you that this is a bit grisly." As he pulls the sheet back, and everyone roll sand, please, unless you are what is it? What's that?
Mad scientists?
No,
We've
adapted
seen
to
these
violence.
people. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
No,
I
we're
don't
not.
think anyone is, are they? I have
No.
one marked on mine, but I don't think I put it there. I don't know.
No, the mark we put was on helplessness, wasn't it? Or did I misplace that last time?
No, I
mean,
think
I
there
don't
was
think-
one for helplessness.
Yeah, I got one for helplessness.
Yeah, I don't think Irving has any yet, so.
Mm-mm-mm.
Stay on board.
And when you mean adapted, do you mean all three check marks?
Correct.
Oh God, no.
So, sand.
Oh, I clicked the button, nothing happened. Oh, there it is. Pop up.
Welcome to Darkwater.
Oh, wow.
Oh, why is that doing that?
Well, I thank
Oh,
you.
wow, nice.
Ooh.
Do we have audio coming?
There's some weird audio coming. Give me just a second here.
Her doctor and dead bodies is, you know, bread and butter.
Where is that? Let me put. Let's see. There we go. I'll just pull up. Okay, so what you notice is a body that is severely damaged. It appears to be broken and crushed in different places. But the thing that stands out to everyone is that wrapped around this figure's head is this mask. And let me show it.
Mhm.
Wow, and it holds a key.
So, yes. And now, before I forget there, anyone that has failed, it's just one sand loss in violence, just seeing the destruction of a human body that had a building collapse on it. But yes, as you see this mask is attached to this person. As you kind of look around, and Thaddeus, with your medical expertise, as you're looking at this body itself, you see that the mask appears to have melded with the skin in a way, and that's not synonymous with anything that you've seen of crush syndrome or anything like that. It appears to have bonded with his flesh in a disturbing way. As you can see, the head though has Colonel Gray goes, as you can see, the body is under trauma, but as you look up here, and he points up towards where the key socket is, it appears that there is some kind of trauma to that section. We're unable to do any further post-mortem on it at the moment, just due to the limited resources that we have, but I think this might be in regards to the next person of interest that you were gearing for, the door warden, correct?
You have forwards. You know, the forward guy.
Yes.
I think so, yeah. This looks maybe to be the eye, looks maybe to be like a keyhole. And the key could be a key. Very peculiar.
Certainly odd. Never seen anything like that.
All right. Yes. Well. So, any questions for me? Might I ask?
Where is this corpse from?
This was from the building that you had went to in Woolwich before.
5 months ago.
Correct. Excavations were recently uncovered, and this body was inside. It's been very cold here.
Yeah. Have any changes been made to the corpse between it being excavated and then shipped over here? Actually, I might be wrong. We're not in the US, are we?
No, you're back in London.
We're back in London. Okay,
Yep.
of course. But he would then ask the question, just replace with, it being brought here to the lab.
Outside of some rough handling between the runners, no, but it's appeared what you see in front of you. We're unable to remove that mask though as well, so we're unable to discern the identity of the person underneath.
As why can't you remove it? Just use more force.
He gestures with his hand to the body. You're welcome to try, Doctor. I don't think he'll mind.
The doctor walks up nonchalant, right? It's just another experiment or whatever, a specimen, and sort of gingerly tries to grab, unless there's protective equipment, right? If there's any protective equipment like rubber gloves or something, he would, of course, he's a good scientist. He would, of course, use those. If those aren't available, maybe he uses part of his sleeve or something to try and pull on the fingers to see if he can move the mask.
Goggle up, science is about to happen.
Right, pretty much, yeah.
Can you not just cut it free?
Well, as I have said, we're very short-staffed here. We don't have a resident mortician on staff at the moment, but I'm hoping that we don't need one in the future.
And as a player, does this mask look anything like the mask that Franz Albrecht was wearing?
No. He was wearing a wolf mask.
Okay.
And this appears to be something else entirely. So yeah, if you're going to try to peel it off with your fingers, go ahead and give me just a strength check, please.
Sure. Very much not.
You try, and with the thick bulk of the gloves themselves, you cannot find purchase anywhere. There's no seam or anything to pull the mask off. You even try to get, like, you get real gristly and you go into where the key eye is at, and you try to get under there, and this thing is maybe glued to his face.
Yeah. That's okay. The doctor will say, yeah, this is very interesting. Do we assume, doctor, as he looks at Thaddeus, that this was done surgically, do you think? While they were alive, I assume.
Thad is still squinting at where the mask is fused to the skin. Can he get any sort of idea as to how it is attached? Well,
Let me see here. Yeah, you can give me... yeah, if you want to give me a medicine check, you can.
strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, you have not seen anything like this before. It is entirely... It almost appears to be part of his skin at this point.
Yeah. And you said you found this where at the house where the Mr. Thompson disappeared, or you found this in France? Was?
No, this was found here, where Mr. Thompson disappeared. The
But we
building
were
that
there,
you
we didn't.
examined.
Oh, I see. Under the rubble.
Correct.
Ha. You think that must maybe an accident? Because the rest of the site, as he turns to Howard, if you recall, Howard, it seemed that from the Nazis' perspective, it went as planned.
Yeah.
The abduction seemed to have gone as planned. So I wonder if this person maybe is a sacrifice. You know, maybe whatever is going on needed some spiritual energy or something of the sort.
There were all those bodies around that house as well.
As a range, yeah. Did any?
It's connected.
Could be maybe they need to use one of these for every jump. Does the body to you, Herr Doctor? Sorry, Mr. Doc. I don't know, Doctor. Does it look emaciated or in any other way weird for having been? I recognize it's 5 months old, but
Well, there's been a good bit of crushing damage here. So, is the body emaciated?
There's been signs of it, but since it's been over winter time in London, and
yeah, bummer.
there has been some desiccation, but for the most part, it's been preserved decently.
Yeah. But there aren't any other physical signs of, like, his skin has weird patches or discoloration, or he looks like he's got radiation damage, or
Not
What
that
do I
you're able
Burn
to see,
damage.
but
Yeah.
you can give me a medicine check too if you want.
Thad actually steps back and looks at our host. And have you got a Geiger counter?
That is. He holds up a finger and turns around and leaves the room. Comes back a couple minutes later, and yes, here you go.
So Thad would check for abnormal radiation.
The body appears to be giving off a slight radioactive signal.
Thad will show that result to Herr Doctor.
yeah. Herr Doctor, by the way, has 0% medicine. He's really not good at that. So at best, he could look for any sort of occult marking that marks him as a victim, or because he's read about things like that. But he does not have medicine skill.
Okay.
So, yeah. He says, radioactivity, very interesting. Maybe some byproduct of some machinery they built? I really can't say. I didn't see any of that in the bunker in France.
Excuse me. And Howard is going to grab a scalpel if he can and step forward.
Okay, yeah, no one's stopping you.
Yeah, he's gonna lean over the body and just grab kind of the mask and the eye holes and just try to use the scalpel to begin cutting off the mask.
Okay, yeah, it takes some time. Everyone give me sand checks, please.
I was about to say her doctor says, "I'm man of my taste," but I guess I'll still roll San.
Man, I'm
Yep,
rolling shit.
it's 1 in helplessness as you watch your comrade go to town on a body.
Just 1 sand loss again.
Yeah, if you make it, it's 0, but if you fail, it's 1 sand loss, and then put a check mark in helplessness.
Should I have done that for the last one as well, or just?
Correct, but that one was for violence.
Ah, okay.
Wait, do these reset between sessions?
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's just the character progressing towards being adapted?
Correct.
Oh, interesting.
And when you adapt, you get pros and cons to it. You don't have to make further sand checks with that, or for a sand loss regarding those, but then you end up losing social graces, like one of your bonds gets penalized because of it, and other things as well.
Makes sense.
So should I have been checking violence last session because I lost sanity to it?
Yes, but that's okay. We can hand wave that at the moment.
Cool.
Yeah, Howard is able to just kind of peel the face off like an onion. There's this wet, sticky sound as the skin comes away, but the mask comes along with it.
Yeah, he's then going to try to scrape off the inside of the mask of the skin. As best as he can, and then see if he's able to see anything else on the inside of this mask that might be like important or pertinent.
As you scrape away there, it takes a while. It takes a long time. So while you're doing that, what are the rest of you doing?
Yeah, Irving's kind of watching, and he turns to I forget his name again. Our kind of head dude,
Colonel Gray.
Colonel Gray. Yeah, he kind of turns to Colonel Gray. So, when are we heading out? Whatever we're going to be doing.
Well, I believe your sources as well as mine have some intel regarding some rats in the city, correct?
Yes, that's true. Sounds like they should be leaving within a few days. Are we expected to slip in with them?
Either with the situation in London as it is now, no one's getting in or out, especially making their way towards the mainland. I want to know if they're getting in or getting out the same way. If they are going to attempt to leave via the same methods that Walter Thompson was abducted, then either slip in with them or replace them and find out where they're going.
That is to say, this teleportation?
If that's the case, then guard yourselves as best as you can.
I'll do what I can.
So,
Let's say the doctor will check out the corpse for anything occult, because he's trying to figure out whatever he can, and that's his expertise.
sure, go ahead and roll Colt. And Thaddeus, what are you doing?
Thad is also checking out the body, particularly the area that was covered by the mask. Occasionally he stops and looks over to see how the cleaning of the mask is progressing.
Okay, and your medicine, Dr. Mosby, is at 60. Okay, so as you are examining the body, you see that outside of the damages from crush syndrome and from a collapsed building falling on it, or a building collapsing on the body, around the eye where the lock was at, there appears to be a thin metal rod that's in the center of it.
Interesting.
And also, you notice that there are fractures all along the skull as well. For our doctor, for the success on the occult, around the body itself, you don't notice anything, but as you are kind of looking from toe to head, once you get up towards the head, you do see that where Howard has scraped away enough of the flesh that Howard's setting to the side, there appears to be indentations on that flesh. That's meaning, like, when you push something into your skin and it leaves an indent of something that sticks out.
Yeah.
That's what you see.
But that must be from the inside of the mask?
Correct. And Howard kind of holds up the mask, and both of you kind of look at it, and there appear to be equations?
Oh, I've seen those. Are they any different than the ones I've already seen?
They are.
Oh, they are different?
Correct.
Oh.
Hmm.
I'll take
Irving
pen and paper and write them down, if I can.
Sure.
Yeah, Irving kind of looks over it all. He doesn't seem super comfy with the whole skin peeling and all that stuff, but his interest has peaked a little bit more when he sees the odd math and such. I don't suppose SIGINT or any kind of means of deciphering might be able to figure out if it's not necessarily normal math or if it's some kind of code or anything.
Not signal intelligence, but do you have any science?
I don't.
I got math 40.
Oh, is that an actual... You got math at 40, yep. So, let's see if there's anything else that Irving can do here. Let me take a look at your skills, Irving.
Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot around
We
this
could
kind
team
of
up.
stuff.
Let's see.
He's a pretty basic soldier.
Well, you know what? Actually, with military science land, you're used to trigonometry and tactics and things like that, as well as calculating elevations and things. With you and the doctor working together, this is just math that doesn't work. It shouldn't work. This is calculating trajectories and velocities, but it's coming out to end up being...
I think you had like brown or pink,
Yeah,
or it says
weird
peach.
stuff.
Well, this is a little bit different in the fact that it's calculating the curvature of a cube.
Okay, which seems nonsensical.
Correct.
Yeah, Irving kind of scratches his head, trying to make heads or tails of it and failing to.
We had that book from last time.
Correct.
I don't think Howard would have studied it at all, but Air Doctor, did you maybe take a look at that, and is this familiar with anything that was in there? Because wasn't that like a book about their weird math?
I mean, if it didn't feel like it was scrambling his brain and turning it into egg mush, then he would have absolutely read that. But I think it was described that the first few pages of the book are normal math and sort of follow sort of like scientific paper, and then turn slowly through the middle into something that you can't even read properly anymore.
Shit, you know what? I apologize. I completely forgot to put that in there. Let me pull that up here.
It was practical hypergeometry.
That's correct. I statted it out, but I
Oh
forgot.
yeah, here it is. The text at the beginning is easier to read, but as you progress it becomes quickly impossible. Eyes slide over the text that's printed, and if anyone attempts to focus on the text, a pressure and pain begins to blossom behind the eyes, at which point the doctor would probably stop because he likes his brain unmushed.
You know, that's fair.
But he would read as far as he can before he gets a headache, and then out of caution probably stop. Is there maybe in those beginnings, mathematically speaking, some sense as to sort of like a foundation of what they're trying to do? Sort of they're going with something that's near normal, sort of the, how do I describe it? Like if you can prove something at a small level, it might be able, mathematically speaking, to apply to a larger level, right? If I can prove to you that 1 + 1 is 2.1 instead of 2, then I might, at the beginning of the book, I might try and then extrapolate on that and build like, well, if we can agree that that is true, I can then explain to you X, Y, Z, and so on and so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? So that the doctor gets an idea of what is that nearness of normalcy. Because if we as players pick up on, for example, the swastika was almost a swastika, it was just off. Some of these calculations, and he's seen from you remember the French people in the equation room, on the left side of the wall was the starting point, the starting equation that I could spot, or that the doctor spotted, that was still okay. That was still okay math. But it gradually became weird.
Yeah, like as if you were able to spot the point where something changes, as if you might be able to kind of figure out the source of why it's changing.
Perhaps it's plane geometry from another plane.
Right, as a player, I might have that idea. I'm just not sure that the doctor is quite there yet, or I'm not sure he is.
Yeah, Irving just seems to almost dismiss it at this point. He's like, I don't know, to me it seems like... Well, I mean, almost seems a bit like madness, doesn't it?
Well, it certainly looks like the math we saw in that room, so we can definitely say it's connected.
Yeah, it's the same cult. Oh, sorry, he would say. Yeah, it is probably the same cult. The recon tab, is that the handouts?
No, that is in Discord.
What?
So underneath, it was where the report was before. Underneath the Delta Green tab, there's the reconnaissance and field intel.
Yeah, advanced mathematic concepts. Ah, my head just hurts looking at this. Okay, so this would be something we do in between?
Yeah, so if you wanted to spend
downtimes?
if you wanted to spend your downtime between last session and this session studying this book, you would get access to that hypergeometry. That quote-unquote spell.
Got
And
it.
where does that ritual come from?
That ritual
In the
is...
book?
Nope. Or sorry, that book that you read, that would be where the ritual came from.
Okay.
If you read the book.
Oh, okay, I understand. So for now, that is, unless any of us actually do the first thing, which is spend our downtime reading the book, we're not even aware that this ritual exists.
Correct. But
Oh, okay.
studying the book would get you access to that ritual.
Okay. I think at this point,
Need the index finger making it forward.
Howard just kind of like tosses the mask on a table nearby. Ooh. Well, so what now?
Have we done a metallurgic analysis on this? Because we might find out what it is made out of, and maybe even which factory in Germany it's from.
Are you talking about the mask itself?
Yeah, jawohl.
No, we have not, but we can certainly get on that right away.
Yeah, it might give us an idea of the origin.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I guess it's something. I don't exactly see any other way we can get anything out of this.
Oh, I do, but I feel like I might be judged very quickly again. As he sort of looks around the group, obviously hoping for someone to say, well, what is your idea?
Well, what is your idea?
So if someone were to volunteer to wear the mask...
No.
Well, he looks at Colonel Gray, if he's still in the room, or whoever else of authority.
I'm not going to order anyone to wear the mask.
But what about a convict?
I am not comfortable sentencing someone to put a mask on that binds to their skin by all appearances.
Fair enough. Different country, different methods.
We still have those other two we need to find. I think
The other two, I'm not sure I follow.
The ones in the brief, eh?
Yeah.
That, what was it called again? Doormaster?
Oh, now I'm catching up as a player. You mean arts
warden, I
and
believe.
forwards? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Maybe the doctor then, with an air of arrogance, will say, "Well, once the times get dire enough, I'm sure the methods will also increase. But until then, fine." Depends
So,
how badly you want to find him.
Well, I suppose if these fellas that are trying to leave, they're most likely to give us a trail. If we can intercept them.
As a player, I apologize. Was there a brief for this session that I missed that says that these people are somewhere we already know where they are?
There is not.
Oh, okay. So it's not like they're in London, we're chasing them or something like that.
No, the way that I am doing this is that each character gets a little bit of information, especially if you're new to a session, like Aki's new character and Raven's new character. They will get things that stick out, like Thaddeus has some medical expertise, so he's able to examine the corpse more closely. Irving got some actionable intel that there are spies that are leaving London that you could potentially corner
German
in-
spies?
German spies.
Oh, cool. So we have a hook. That's great. Okay, that's great. Because I did not make that connection as a player that we have a hook. That's great. Okay.
Yeah. I think because the doctor, I believe, was studying the body at the time, and Irving
Mhm.
kind of discussed it with our lad, whose name I forget every time.
Is that Colonel Gray?
Colonel
Colonel
Gray.
Gray, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. Maybe try to find these spies.
Well, that sounds
get us
delightful.
Something.
Yeah.
Let's try and track him down. Yes.
All right. So, how are you all going about doing that? Or let me rephrase that. Are all of you going about doing that, or are some of you going about doing that and some of you doing something else?
Well, I know Irving is definitely he's going to be looking into the spies and trying to track down where exactly they are.
Yeah, I
Okay.
Try a
think Howard
combination.
is with him.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll use a combo of search, SIGINT, and whatever else he might need.
Okay.
He's not really by any means spec up, so he's not sneaky, but he'll try and get the info at least to get the others there. Figure out how to approach.
What are the science boys up to?
I don't think I have I don't think the doctor has some sort of science thing he needs to do. So he might tag along to try and find the spies.
Okay. You could help with the metallurgical analysis on the mask if you wanted, Doctor.
I got chemistry 40.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Nice.
That
And
sounds like
Thaddeus.
something he might enjoy.
I think Thad's not particularly sneaky, so he too will stay behind. He will examine the body more closely, particularly the metal rod from around the key eye.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, as you pull out the key, the rod from the key eye, there are engravings on it that appear to be similar to what you see on the back of the mask. But as you examine the length of the rod itself, it appears that it's fractured. that it has been broken, and coinciding with what you studied of the skull and it being severely fractured, you're not entirely sure if it's broken off inside or if there's something else that's going on.
He will share that finding with the Herr Doctor, who seems to be...
In your medical opinion, was that a result of a failed experiment or of the building crushing his face?
Is of the opinion that the rod was probably broken when the building fell on him.
Very well, very well.
But he doesn't, of course, understand the rod or the mask or the occult angle to this.
Is even from layman's terms, is the rod where the optical nerve would be, behind the eye, or in the brain, like further back?
It is probably about, I would say the rod itself would be about 2 inches long, but it's broken.
But was it found deep in the back of the skull, or
It was,
right
correct.
behind the eye? Oh, okay. Because there was a key at the front of the mask. I mean,
Yes.
maybe that's just for ornamentation, right? Because there's a hand holding a key, so he's maybe a key holder, or he's the doorman, right? Who opens the door. But the rod, you say, is behind where the keyhole is.
Correct.
Maybe Herr Doctor would then ask, don't you think that's deadly? How would you have a rod back in your brain? That seems very weird.
Indeed. Entire
And
thing
you
seems particularly
you think
strange.
you think it was there?
Anti-mortem, yes.
You know, I want to restate my theory that this person, maybe the rod was inserted or shot into their brain. That's why they died, and they were discarded like an empty canister of fuel. Maybe the rod wasn't there the whole time. You see what I'm saying? In many of the rituals that I have read in the books in Germany, some sort of sacrifice needs to be made. Because how would someone walk around with this rod in their head? So I'm assuming the rod was put there at the end of their life.
Reasonable.
Maybe through the keyhole. It is very brutal, but we've seen very bad things in France as well. If you read the briefing, the rod itself, if we piece it together, and you said there's an inscription on it, are any of those equations similar to? Are there even equations on it? Right? Like I'm assuming there's the inscription just keeps being the same stuff, but I'd like you to confirm.
As you examine the rod, it appears to be different equations, and those don't quite add up because you don't have the whole rod, but it's also kind of a similar math pattern that you're seeing from what you've seen before.
So I've seen them now in 4 places, right? The equation room, the book, the back of the mask, and the rod itself.
Correct.
And those all seem to be the same way, like they're off in the same way.
Yes, that is the running theme.
It's the
but
same
they
type
appear
of
to be-
math.
To an extent, yes.
Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out, is this still the advanced French math?
Which end of the rod is the broken end?
Yeah, where's the rest of it?
In other words, does it appear that there could be more broken off inside the head, or did something break off from outside the head?
Both.
What?
Both ends are missing.
Yep.
So there was a front piece and a back piece?
That's correct.
Well, shoot. We could maybe a doctor goes ask someone, say like, where's, is there any of the rubble left? Because there are pieces of this rod missing.
Yes, but they don't quite exactly know what they're looking for, do you?
Yes, metal. So he says, yes, metal. just use a metal finder.
Well, and to that point, is this ferric metal? Does a magnet stick to the piece we have?
Let's see. No, it does not.
Okay. So much for trying to fish the other piece out that way, then.
Mhm.
I think
As
it's time
players,
for-
we want the rest of the rod, I bet, even though it's probably will still be unreadable, but it'll give us an idea if, a foot-long piece was jammed into his face, or, maybe not. Because then that's probably very deadly. So is there any way any roll, anything we can do to try and acquire the rest of the rod? Other than tell people, please go through all the rubble and bring us what you find?
Well, for that, you'll definitely have to, for one piece of the rod, you'll have to tell them to do that. For you two, Thaddeus
Mhm.
and Air Doctor, you're gonna have to go fishing. You're gonna have to slap those gloves on and
But
root
he's a doctor, right? So an autopsy shouldn't be a problem for him.
So there's that. But yeah, you can also run tests. You said your chemistry was at 40, Air Doctor?
Yes.
Okay. The mask itself is not made out of metal. It appears to be made out of some kind of leather, but anything that you cross-examine it with doesn't register.
The mask is made of some sort of leather?
Correct.
Woo!
Metallic.
The wolf mask was made out of leather too, right?
Correct.
Similar leather?
Not that you can determine.
But it's not human leather, right?
Sorry, the wolf mask was made out of metal. This one was
okay.
made out of leather. But the key itself is metal, and as you examine it, it appears to be a specific type of gold ore that can be found in Denmark.
Okay, wow. I mean, kudos to the GM for all these details. It's cool.
Thank you. So while you two get finger deep in some other man's skull, Howard and Irving, as you two are going about, Irving, give me a SIG-int check. Howard, are you helping with that?
I think that skill is really bad for me. Hold on.
Yep, it is
Mine's not
0.
super great.
Yeah, it's
pretty
0,
standard.
so I'm gonna
Okay.
go with no.
Cool.
So I'll say that if you want to use one of your other skills and just narrate how you help Irving out,
So
I'll
we're
give you
just
plus 10.
okay. We're just searching for these people, right?
Yes.
Trying to track
Maybe.
him down, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I imagine-
alertness makes sense because I'm helping keep an eye out.
Like perhaps you're doing the foot work while he tries to get
maybe
through their comms
navigate
and stuff,
of
figure out where they are.
navigating to some more perhaps seedy parts of town where people might be able to hide a bit better.
Yeah, yep, exactly. That'll work perfectly. Go ahead then, Irving, and give me a SIG-int check with an extra plus 10.
Alrighty. Hey.
Okay, so with that, yeah, you find yourselves in seedier boroughs throughout London. You have your own kind of network, and through Colonel Gray tapping into MI5, you're able to get access to some of their resources and some of the people that they talk to. Also, with the help of Walter Thompson, since you rescued him before, he has some birds that want to tweet at him. You're able to find these 4 German individuals that are going to be. They're packing up and leaving town. They have told some people that the scrutiny of being German and in these troubled times and living inside of London is just too much. They're going to pack up and leave for a cottage on the English countryside, and they'll be doing that tomorrow.
Interesting. Yeah, he'll come back to Gray and inform him of the situation. They're probably going to try and leave tomorrow. Did he have a specific time? I'm sorry.
You get early in the morning.
Yeah, early in the morning. Okay, yeah. So,
And you get the they're going to be heading to the north.
Interesting. Okay. So that would the question is if they plan to actually leave, but with the countryside thing, would they be able to get out to the countryside proper, or is the city pretty well locked down?
The city itself seems to be pretty locked down, but it is possible for you to get in and out if if you're kind of a scumbag.
Yeah, so there might be an actual chance that it's not just code words. They might actually go that way and then leave from an actual cottage or something. Although he's thinking if they do have this weird teleportation type shit, then you never know. So Irving, he kind of discusses with Howard. So what do you think we should do? Try and ambush them before they head out, or wait until they do whatever it is they do?
No, we need to figure this out before they leave town. I say maybe we might be able to get the doctors and try to ambush these folk tonight.
You know, there's 4 of them, right? They, if we were to pick one of them off, they'd probably still be trying to get out. They'd hopefully assume that we only found the one. We could pick one of them off, interrogate them, find out what they know.
Or we could get all of them and play them against each other.
I guess so, but
It
if
might-
they are going to do this thing that you all described, then I suppose there's a good chance that, I mean, they might just disappear, right? But we need to be able to confirm that. I mean, if they have someone else they're meeting up with, the doctor thought there'd be some kind of sacrifice, eh? You think they're going to do that on one of their own folk, or you think they're going to kidnap someone or meet up with someone?
I'm not sure, but I think it may be best to meet with the others and maybe make a more detailed plan once we see what these 4's situation is like in town.
Well, that seems wise. Alright then, they've already reported back, so we just have to meet up then.
All right, let's head back.
Okay, so you eventually do make your way back to the warehouse again, and you come in, and there's the smell of gore, stale gore, as both their doctor and Thaddeus have kind of done an unofficial autopsy on this corpse. But yes, as you both come in, you can relay your information to each other.
Yeah, and Irving kind of gives the info across pretty directly, no details left out. You know, headed for the countryside first thing in the morning tomorrow, etc., etc. So, my question to all is, how do we want to deal with this? I mean, there's quite a few ways we could, to be honest, but...
Catching spies is not my craft.
It's not exactly mine either. Just getting the info and, well, if it were just taking care of them, then I guess I could probably do that fine enough, but...
You seem to do fine enough on the last mission, Doctor. I think you'd be a good help.
Sure, I can come along, just don't expect me to be very quiet.
I don't know that we'll need to be very quiet for this one. But having numbers will help.
I was thinking, you mentioned something about sacrifices, eh?
Well, this
They,
person, while you were away, we did get a piece of a metal cylinder out of its skull, where the behind the left eye, and we think the front piece and the back pieces are still missing. So both this doctor and this doctor believe that you could hardly live with that. So maybe this was used to activate the teleport, and this person was killed in the process.
Yeah, Irving kind of looks. Oh,
Did
if we're
we-
around for the mask and the, I assume they have the little cylinder to
Mhm.
show. And he kind of looks at it. You said it was about 2 inches long.
Yeah.
And
It
did
kinda
we
looks at
recover
it.
the back piece? The
Oh, through the
inside?
autopsy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good question. We did?
It took you a few hours, and that was
Whew.
more than enough time for Irving and Howard to be out and about. But yeah, it took you a while because everything is kind of a slurry inside. So
Gross.
you were able to find 2 tines that appear to have been in 2 different locations inside.
Wait, what is that
So
word?
it was like a fork stuck in his eye.
A tuning fork?
A tine, or if it were a key. Which is basically Irving's guess. I mean, Irving kind of looks at it. I suppose. I mean, looking at the mask, and if he's supposed to be this door master, and the keyhole motif and everything, I mean, it certainly fits the bill, doesn't it?
It would. I mean, I find it hard to believe that someone could live with this in their face.
I suppose, but I've seen a few fellas take bullets in worse places and live through it. Although not the same, that's for sure.
Yeah. Not to mention, wouldn't you think it would be difficult for a person looking like this to walk through London? Have we figured out how the Germans even got in?
Aye, but I was thinking, like you said, with the sacrifices, if they do that to him and then, they die, and that's their sacrifice to get him out, and the intel I got, it mentioned something about a landlord to show him. If they need someone other than themselves to get rid of for this, then that would fit the bill.
What if this... Again, I am wildly speculating. But what if this person wasn't in London and there was some sort of exchange?
I suppose that's possible.
The Germans disappeared to France with Thompson, and they replaced it with some wheat and sulfur and this now empty battery. You see what I'm saying?
I think I get what you mean. Honestly, it all sounds a bit like
But
madness.
again, it is wildly speculative.
So how is our masked body, or formerly masked body, dressed?
Shredded clothes. It appears to be.
That's a great question.
Right, like a Londoner's clothes, or like
no.
farmer's clothes?
Like the prisoners we found?
Yes. I'm trying. Yeah. Because that's where they came from there. If I remember. Yep. Okay. Yep. They would be in what appears to be French peasant clothes.
That definitely supports that idea. The 2 people that we found, were there 2 French people we found in the equations room?
There were 3.
There were 3.
So
And they looked similar, right?
They looked. Yeah. They looked about the
Intact,
same.
but-
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if
Yeah.
that was their stock of teleporting rods. You see what I'm saying? And they just, use them because they were special. Remember, they were told that they were special somehow.
Well, I think my question is, how do we
So a French peasant, huh? Okay.
how do we go about this? Getting these fellas. My thoughts were if we act tonight before they're all together. From the info, did it sound like all four of them were staying together, or separate, or meeting up, or what?
It sounded like they were meeting together to get the hell out of London.
Okay. If we could pick up one of these fellas on the way to the extraction point, as it were, then could figure out from that one more info about the others. More
Definitely.
details. Now, we could go for all of them at once, but I mean, we don't know if they're capable of some weird stuff like this. He kind of motions towards the mask and the little
Yeah.
rod. Then who knows what we're up against proper. I'd rather be careful about it.
Well, given that I now believe that this might be a human sacrifice necessary, and we haven't seen these sort of disappearances often, maybe another theory could be that they can't just do it for free, very cheap, whenever they want. Yeah? For example, if you could, why have your spies even walk anywhere anymore? Right? They wouldn't need to go over land or anything. They would just teleport in and out as they want.
I think I see what you're getting at.
It might be very expensive or very difficult to do.
Or the report mentioned that the house was collapsed and broken up
Yeah.
after it, right?
Yes.
Either there's some cost to it aside from that, or they just want to keep their tails covered. If they did it all the time and that's the result, then people would figure it out.
Indeed. Indeed. Especially if a man like this gets left behind.
Exactly.
But then again, that's speculation. Could be the technology is so new, and within the next, it's like the first bomb on London. At first, we were like, oh yeah, it's just one, but then
Right.
they figured it out, and it started happening more and more.
You think they're testing it?
I mean, the range looked like a testing site to me. I would know.
Well, that makes sense then. So you
So-
say we pick one of them off, interrogate,
Definitely.
and then
Yeah,
go
yeah,
for
yeah.
the others at the meeting point. He kind of looks to the others as well.
Thad washes up from the autopsy, pulls a army issue Colt out of his doctor bag, tucks it in his vest, and appears to be ready to go.
Howard nods. Sounds like a plan.
Looks to Colonel Gray. Well, does this suit you, sir?
It most certainly does. You have our full capabilities. We are able to contract out and get some things from MI5 if it's needed.
Well, I certainly imagine it will be. I don't doubt you'll go without a fight.
No, very much not. All right. So, what all do you think you'll need? And you're going after one person?
I think we want to pick one off tonight, interrogate him, and then ambush the others on the way to the meeting point in the morning, right? Well, basically something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
All right. So, as you are going about the city, you have some intel as to these individuals' names. But let's see, who is going to be taking the lead on this?
I think this is all you, Irvine.
Oh my. Yeah, Irving's not particularly sneaky or anything, but he'd know how to set up a basic ambush, I imagine. So probably figure out, where the guy's gonna be, position everybody in a spot so that once he's pretty much cornered, then they can go in, take him as needed.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a search check to find that spot.
Alrighty. I'm very searchy. Nice.
Wow. Very nice.
Wow,
Nicely
such
done, yep.
Search, so wow.
Mhm.
So yeah, you are able to find a location that suits you well, that you know that they'll be leaving from, or at least one of them is going to be either gathering supplies or going to meet the others. You're not entirely sure, but yeah,
Okay.
you're able
Probably
to.
even play into the military science aspect of it. Okay, if they want to leave, what will they need to get to where they need to go? You know, what's a safe halfway point that they would hole up at until the meeting in the morning, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. So, as you are able to do that, let me get everyone. Where you at? Right here. There we are. Okay, so let me do this, and then you're able to make your way to a rather familiar part of town for two of you, as you two have been in this area before when you were looking for Walter Thompson. You find a rundown house that has been abandoned for a while, and you were able to hole up in there while the evening comes. And in the meanwhile, what are the rest of you doing as you all begin to prepare for an ambush?
I think Irving, for his part, he'd kind of look to Thaddeus a bit. If I take one of his legs, you can keep him alive, eh? He
Try
would have.
try not to hit the femoral artery, and certainly.
Well, I'll go for the knee if I can, but no promises. I'm sure a tourniquet will be fine enough. Get the info we need out of him. I don't imagine he'll be looking forward to anything after that either, anyway. But I'll get a good position from a distance. The moment he walks out, I'll take a shot, and or if I can get a vantage point, even we'll see. But I'll find a good spot and set up. Thaddeus, our doctor, if you'd like to be a bit closer. Suppose someone needs to be there to take him down. If you think you could do that, Thaddeus. You look like a tough fella.
Of course.
Is there a brawl or something in the system? Unarmed combat? Oh, there it is. Unarmed combat, yeah.
And Howard, I imagine you could back him up. Don't want them getting too hurt or anything.
Yeah, of course.
Alright then.
All right. So, yes, as evening begins to set, I'm just gonna use this token here. You see a man that is walking down the street, and he appears to be by himself, and he seems a bit out of sorts. He's kind of looking around, looking behind his shoulder for the most part. But given what you know, Irving, that this is one of your targets, so you're going to take a shot at him.
Yep. Once he's in view and off to the side enough that there's nobody nearby that could take collateral.
Okay. He appears to be mostly by himself, but yep, you're able to time it just right. So he is where you want him. So go ahead and take a shot.
Yeah, you guys see Howard. He's probably got a vantage point. I imagine there's some abandoned buildings with bombing and everything going on, or something a bit run down. And he'll take a position in a window there. And the moment he sees the guy, he looses a shot from his rifle.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, and go ahead and roll damage.
All right. Where would that be?
Oh.
I think I need to add a weapon.
Yep. What kind of rifle was it?
I don't know. Because yeah, Graham didn't have a rifle before.
That's
So-
okay. Where is it? I got too many handouts already.
God, I can't remember the name of that one.
I got the
There it
Colt
is,
and the
it's
Tommy
equipment.
gun, but I don't have the other ones.
There it is. Would
a
it be the
Grand.
M1?
Yeah, that's what
Yep.
it is.
So that's a 1d12.
All right, 1d12. Let me just click that real quick.
Yeah,
I
the
should-
Garand does damage.
It doesn't. Okay, I'm just gonna roll the d12. 4.
4 damage. Yep. You are, and you were aiming for a leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a crack that echoes out across the buildings and into the night sky, and there is quickly followed a scream, a piercing shriek as he goes down on one leg, and looks around frantically and tries to begin shuffling away.
And that's when me and Thaddeus jump on him.
Yeah, go ahead, and you don't necessarily. He's severely wounded at this point, so go ahead and actually you don't have to. You're able to catch him.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much why Irving wanted us up close alongside Howard, is so that he would be able to deal with the leg.
And yeah, he's shrieking out in German, just yelling in pain as Howard drags him into the building. Air Doctor and Thaddeus, are you tending to the wound? Are you trying to give him some a face full of ether? Or
Yeah, I'd like to sedate him if it's all possible.
okay, yeah, you're
It's a
able to
matter of
administer
chemistry,
that.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you're able to administer that just fine. And yeah, he gets this look of euphoria on his face.
And you guys hear the door from the building that Irving had kind of pulled up in, kind of open with a big loud creak as he starts plodding across the stone, heading over to you.
Yeah, I assume while Thaddeus tries to stabilize the guy, the doctor would, what do you call him? Like loot him, look through his pockets and stuff to see if there's anything interesting.
Yeah, Howard actually brought in. He was wearing a backpack, and it's pretty bulky.
Mhm.
There appears to be some where's it at? There is this. He appears to have this on him, which is a key ring full of keys. And then there is what appears to be a piece of thick rubber in the backpack.
What kind of shape? Like a sheet of thick rubber, or?
Well, if you pull it out, it is this.
Oh, that's traditional wedding garments in Germany.
Yep.
I lived in Germany. I know that's not true.
Damn it!
Oh.
But the doctor is from Germany, and this could be some lab equipment in his mind.
Yeah.
If you deal with electricity or acid or something like that.
Well, as you kind of, it all appears to be, that you can seal yourself inside, but there are, you see the eye holes up top there, but those appear to be shaded over.
What? So the person wouldn't even be able to see through?
Correct.
Dang.
Yeah, you guys hear Thaddeus approach. How is that? He good? Get anything useful?
He's got some keys and this weird mask, and he kind of tosses the mask to you.
Yeah, he kind of looks it over. Thinks better than to actually slide it on, but when he notices that it's shaded over, he kind of looks to the others. That's odd. It looks like some kind of protective stuff, eh? You think it's something to do with the, in the brief, it would mention that would Irving know about the flash of light that was mentioned?
For which?
Because the drunk guy mentioned that there was like a big flash of light.
Oh,
and then,
yeah. Yep, there would be a witness or recollection of that.
Yeah, so Irving would probably bring that up. The briefing did mention some fella who witnessed all this, eh? Something about a big old flash and then noise and the collapse of the building. You think this is for that?
Possibly. Initially, I thought maybe you put this around someone to prevent them from looking out, but it seems excessive and very expensive. So yeah, it could be protective gear. Not to mention these keys. And are these keys also gold from Denmark?
Well, they're gold.
Okay.
It's dark out, so it's kind
So
of hard to...
But it's a similar key, sort of in length and shape, than the one that was...
Well, that's the funny
into
thing
the
is that
mask?
there's a lot of different ones.
Oh, okay.
They're varying sizes.
Nice. Well, that's interesting.
I'll keep him for analysis, obviously. As well as the suit, we might as well just cram it back into his backpack.
I think it might
We should
do that.
probably move this body, yeah?
Building that I was in, that should do for now. Unless, I mean, I'm sure.
You want
we
to
could get
question him, I
information
assume.
here. Yes. It would be for the best.
Yeah. And I guess Howard will kind of carefully pick this guy up and move him into the more secured room.
Okay, he moans.
And yeah, eventually, maybe if we have like some rope or something, we tie him up as well. Just give him a full
I imagine we were
experience.
ready for this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Howard's just gonna watch him until he's conscious enough for us to question him.
We're in the other building now, right?
Yeah. Irving kind of looks. I don't suppose you could have any way to wake him up quicker. We don't want to risk his fella's getting wind of this and trying to escape early or something. The quicker we get the info, the better.
Yeah, you're able to do that pretty easily. He comes to, but he's still in that kind of lucid foggy state. He's just looking around. Oh, I am hurt. What happened?
Just before, I just want to make sure that the group is informed. Had Dr. Wood hand a note around that he found inside? I think is either the suit or the backpack. I'm not sure.
It was in the backpack.
In the backpack, that says you can read these words. But it's in German, so he would translate that, of course, to everybody and say the suit says this thing. So it is clearly protective, as you assumed. And this person was going to either bring the suit, or this person is this person. Eidricht.
Walk in the path. You think that has something to do with this weird mode of transportation?
Possible. He has keys even. So he might be planning to be using the pass to leave. And then
All right,
I guess
fella.
that's when we wake him up and ask him questions.
Yeah, Irving kind of shakes him a bit. All right now. The path. What do you know about the path?
The path is how we get to places. It takes us from here to there. You gotta know what door you're looking for.
Door. There's doors on this path.
Oh,
Literally
yeah.
or figuratively.
Oh, both.
And how do you know what door's the right one? Or he kind of looks at the doctor. Or how do you know what key to use?
Oh, well. The door warden tells us.
And how does the door warden contact you?
Oh, they make sure to give us the right keys beforehand.
And they use all those keys.
I have before.
And the mask. He doesn't elaborate. He just brings up the word "the mask," hoping that this guy will fill in the dots.
He just like he kind of squints at you a little bit. And, who are you?
And Irving actually speaks in German and says, "I'm friend."
No, this is wrong. Who? No. Get me away from here. And he starts trying to struggle and sit up.
Yeah, and Irving kind of looks to the others. Are you all ready to hold him down?
Yeah, Howard will go and hold him down.
No, get away. No. He starts trying to cry out for help.
Yeah, Irving would basically sock him across the face pretty much outright.
Okay. Yeah, his head jerks back.
Now listen, fella, I was hoping you might stay out of it long enough to give us all the info we needed, but we're gonna have to do it the hard way, it seems.
No, kill me if you need to. I won't talk.
Oh, you will talk. You certainly will. It might take a while, but you will. And if you don't, we'll find all the others, and we'll find out anyway. We already
No.
have most of what we need to know. You're just gonna fill in the dots. So what do you say?
Roll me a persuade check.
Alright. Here we go. Ugh.
Oh, crit fumble.
Wow.
Yeah, he kind of looks up at you, and you can see that he starts rooting around in his mouth, and you just hear this muffled shriek as he bites down on his tongue. Everyone roll sand.
Damn.
Shit.
Yeah, okay, not the first time the doctor has seen someone bite on their tongue.
Do we need to mark helplessness, or?
Yes. If you fail, it's 1 in helplessness.
Oh, but you don't mark it if you don't fail. Okay.
Correct. Any instance of sand loss that you get without going temporarily insane, then you mark towards your progress there. But yeah, this is 1 in helplessness, as he is vigorously trying to chew through his own tongue.
Yeah, Irving would immediately, obviously, try and stop him. Kind of grabbing at his jaw and putting pressure on either side of it to keep him from biting down hard.
Thad will try and stick a leather belt or something in his jaws if Irving can get him open.
Shit, damn it!
Blood's
And-
pouring down his chin as Thaddeus gets a belt wedged in there. But yeah, he's just looking at you. He's got this fevered look in his eye.
Oh, shite.
Not to worry. I've dealt with that before. He can still write.
Good point, but I don't think we're going to get a whole lot out of him here, and we need to make sure he doesn't bleed out. Thaddeus will be counting on you for that, but let's get him in the car, get him back to headquarters, and then...
Cauterize it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, we just need something metal and hot.
Oh, that would be awful.
God, yeah. Fuck. That's exactly the first thing I thought, too. All right, and yeah, I suppose... unless it seems like he's able to write, I think the concern is keeping a source of intel alive right now. We already know where the others are.
Yeah, with Thaddeus's medicine, what it is, he's able to staunch the bleeding at the moment. You could try to get something out of him written wise, but yeah, if you want, you can haul him back to headquarters.
Yeah, I think that's the...
Because they'll probably want to keep
anybody else
him.
wants to...
They'll probably want to keep him incarcerated for a while and then ask him questions too, I bet.
Yeah, Irving's happy to let someone more talented in the interrogation arts take care of this.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so you get him back.
Does he react to the name Eidricht? As if that is him himself?
As you say Eidrick, he's still in that kind of weird fog, that drug-induced fog, but he looks at you, and it's not like a that's my name recognition, but it's a recognition that you know
someone
that name.
else. Yeah. I say maybe I tell him. Oof, that's a good question, because he was going to Eidricht, obviously, because he was bringing his suit with. But he wouldn't give him up, so what's the point? But the doctor would maybe discuss that with the rest of the group then, or quietly with one of them, and say like, well, it seems like he was bringing the suit to someone called Eidricht, who might be in addition to the other spies we're trying to catch.
Perhaps. That could be it, but I suppose now we'll have to wait till morn. Get the rest of them. Though I doubt it'll be quite as easy.
Wouldn't it be better to try to get them now?
Pick them all off, I suppose, but...
We'll just take them. I mean, they're gonna be more prepared in the morning, and they may even try to leave tonight if they realize one of them's missing.
True, they might try and move the schedule up. But somehow I have a feeling that, based on the sound of all this, they probably can only do it at a certain time or some such. Does that sound about right?
We don't know.
Right then,
He just starts chuckling. This watery, this thick chuckle that is emanating from him.
Irving kind of rolls his eyes. Alright, and, well, I suppose we could get them all interrogating, but I think it might be better to ambush them proper altogether in the site where they want to go from.
We don't know what site that is, though.
Oh, that's exactly what I mean. I say we track them, figure out where exactly it is. If there's some correlation to all this, the doctor mentioned they're trying to find a range and such, then they must need a specific spot. They must be transporting from a specific spot. And if they all go and bite their tongues, I don't think we're going to exactly be finding that. Not easy, and not in time.
Howard looks unsure as he shakes his head. There's too many opportunities for them to lose us if we just try to track them. We could be letting all three of them get away.
Or there's 3 more?
Yeah, there's 3 more. There's 4 total. I suppose, but if we want to find this locale at all costs. I mean, they've already been sending folks in and out. I don't think that's going to be that much of a concern. I'm more concerned with figuring out how they're doing it and potentially hijacking it.
Once we arrive back at sort of HQ,
Mhm.
could we put in a intelligence report about whatever the phrase or name Idrict means to intelligence?
Yeah, that quickly comes back from Colonel Gray, and even Irving knows that one of the other individuals would be Idric Otto. That's one of the other 4 that is located in London.
Oh, one of the spies.
Yep.
Irving.
Is that? Oh, I apologize.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Is that me as a German player have to ask then? Is the name an indication? Which again, I've never ever seen a name like that. An indication of it being also otherworldly, unnatural, or is that just you as a game master just came up with this name for the purposes of this game?
I went to a specific name generator website and I found that name, and I looked at it and I said, that looks like a good name. I'm going to use that name.
Okay, but sorry. My specific question, maybe I formulated better.
No,
Is
I
the
know
name
what
weird
you-
to her doctor?
No,
Who's
it's
from
not.
there? Okay, so okay.
That's what I was getting at. Is that no? It's not another otherworldly name. I typed in German name generator into Google and I
Perfect.
came up with that name.
Okay, cool. I was just trying to figure out if name that was Heinrich or something before, and then you slightly changed it just to mess with us.
No.
Okay.
I've got other ways to mess with you. I don't need that.
No, you know, I was jumping from shadows, right? Or just jumping at shadows. Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to get him back, and what's your next step here? How do you go about determining? Thaddeus brought up a good comment there, or a good angle, is that there's sodium pentothal. You can pump him full of that and see if you can get information out of him that way.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds delightful.
Try and get everything we can out of this guy before we go for the others, I think. Well, we've got time.
All right. Well, Thaddeus, give me a medicine check, please.
Sure.
Make sure that you don't OD him.
Oh, crap.
Oh shit.
Speak of the devil.
Uh-huh.
Whoopsie.
Okay, so yes, for him, he just see what happens when you overdose.
From the bottle, 2 milligrams per 7 kilos of body weight.
Oh shit! I should have said pound.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you have a ratio of almost 2 to 1.
Yeah, he starts like, you see him start to just quickly lose consciousness and start breathing very hard and shallowly.
What's happening? He's not answering any questions. What did you do?
And Thad will try to resuscitate.
Okay. Go ahead and give me another medicine check.
Can I assist at all with chemistry and all? And is someone concoct something that keeps him from dying?
That is a perfect use there. Go ahead and give. You can go ahead and make a medicine check with plus 20.
Crap.
Shit. Oh man,
Oh, when you try your best, but you don't
this feels so familiar.
Yeah, he collapses down and
Dang.
like his breathing is becoming more and more shallow. It's not a fumble, so you get one more chance if you want to try to
Certainly.
keep him up.
Might just be trying to stabilize him at this point.
At this point, yeah.
There you go.
There you
Okay.
go.
You're able to not kill him outright.
At least it wasn't a grenade.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's not talking anytime soon. He's gonna be
Out.
learning how to breathe again for a while.
Ooh.
Just
Can
clearly
we,
frustrated.
Can we then sort of have observe him? What do you call it? Not observe. Like check him out for dirt under the fingernails, the kind of dirt on his boots, places he might have been, anything that we can use to derive where he's come from or where he's going. Maybe he has like a ticket for the train. Because it looks currently that he was just walking to his destination, which also gives us a clue by itself if it's in walking distance, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But I think the main thing is we were catching him in, well beforehand, hopefully.
Yeah, but was he just going around the corner to some secret doorway we don't know, or was he going to hop on a train or get in a car, or
True.
where are all the other spies going? Is my question, right?
From everything that you've gathered and looking him over, it appears to be everything that he has on him. He's been in London for a little while. You're not sure exactly at what level of government that he was in or what access to information that he had. But the mud on the boots you've seen plenty of times walking around just the slums in London and the lower boroughs. He does have a train ticket on him, but it's a return ticket and it's been punched already. So you can tell that he had gotten off the train and he was going to his destination. But yeah, other than that, though, it looks like he spent some time in London. You do have some actionable intel that they'll be leaving from North London in the morning.
Yeah,
But
that's big. Yeah.
it is vague, but given that you have captured one of their allies, chances are they're going to move that timetable up, given what you know of anyone with assorted military science.
Oh, yeah.
But what you can do is you can stake out the main ways and means of getting out of London, especially if you're kind of a shady son of a bitch. Those routes you can track and keep eyes on them and go from there.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, for Irving's part, he'd rather track them to whatever locale they want to transport from, to see if that has any meaning, so that location can then be surveilled in the future, to see if they have if they're transporting at specific spots only, or if it's just anywhere works or what.
Yeah, we either gather information through observation or we gather information by capturing them and interrogating them. So both options, yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
I think the observation idea is reasonable. We do have Howard's concern about them eluding us, though. We need to.
True.
I, as a player, am down for whatever.
Yeah,
But
same.
Howard, I think, is concerned about them getting away.
Yeah, so we got Howard's definitely in route of catch them now before they try and leave, whereas Irving is track them, figure out where they're going to leave from, and then get them just before they do. It's definitely riskier in the chance that some of them might evade, but we would have visuals on how they do the process and stuff even if they do. So it's intel of a different sort.
Yeah. Of course, there's the risk, as you said, that suddenly there's just a flash of light and they're gone.
Yeah. Which Irving thinks is worth it because, I mean, they don't end up losing out too much with that anyway. We've got
Yeah,
one of
we
them.
already have one that we can still potentially get information out of. Just got to make sure that someone looks in his mouth and checks for like false teeth and shit like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess a thing is, like, at the one house, we found, like, quite a bit of stuff. but at the initial abandoned house that they teleported from in the first episode, there really wasn't anything. I guess they found this body like a while later, but other than that, there wasn't anything of note. So we may be like letting these people get away, and then we don't necessarily get anything of use.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I think that's part of why Irving wants to know the process of how they're leaving and stuff. Even if they let one of them escape and get two of them, or if they can, if this person that they're bringing with as well is presumably the one they're going to sacrifice as well, there's that risk too.
Mm-hmm.
But again, then we would potentially have visuals and confirmation on how they do it. Which might, who knows, maybe gives us a means of prevention.
I think it's risky,
Mm-hmm.
but I like
agree.
risky.
Mm-hmm.
I say we do risky.
Sure.
Who's with me?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so plan of action is to stake them out and see if you can catch them before the act or catch them during the act.
Yep.
Pretty much. Yeah, Irving wants to pretty much wait till they get to the locale, see them setting up, and get them just before.
Okay. Yeah, so you are able to coordinate with MI5 and able to get some eyes on some of the other routes leading out of London, the ones that you know are more quiet and less observed. And I need a luck check from Irving.
Ooh, luck check.
Fitty.
And where is the button for that again?
It's
Under
just
sanity?
yeah.
Alrighty. Hey!
Wow.
Okay.
boy.
So, yes, as you are, well, first, let me just turn back the time just a little bit. As you are all setting up and gearing up to do a stakeout, both Howard and Air Doctor, you are, this is your stakeout. You've both been going for a while. You start to nod off, and during that time, you begin to have that same dream that you've had before. That dream where it feels like you're suffocating, and it feels like there are people around you, but you can't see them. It feels like there's something over your face.
Yeah, like a rubber suit.
Yeah, something like that. And you're hearing this crowd in the background. As you're moving along, you're bumping into people. You're feeling people surround you, the warmth of the sun on you, and you're somewhere, and you hear that music playing in the background, the cascade of a violin as the crowd gathers around, and it just enraptures you. It draws you in, you feel it, and your heart begins to beat in time with it, and it just picks up, and you begin to sweat and twitch, and it feels like you're suffocating. You're trying to get whatever's on your face off, and it's just to no avail. To where both Thaddeus and Irving have to kind of stop and wake you up.
Hmm.
And
I say, gentlemen, are you quite all right?
you fellas aren't looking too well.
Howard kind of like startled awake, kind of grabbing onto his head. Sorry. Just bad dream.
Was it? Seems more like a night terror. I dare say you're pale as a sheet.
Doctor clutches his face also. Says, get it off! Get it off! It can't breathe!
You
You
can't.
good?
You couldn't breathe in your dream either.
Yes, I've been having this nightmare about suffocating with a lot of people around. Some sort of dreadful... I don't know, maybe a ritual or something. I'm in a place with a violin playing very, very fine music, and the sun is on me, and I can feel the heat of the sun. I think it's the sun because I can't see, and I can't breathe properly. I don't know. It's been very upsetting.
Doctor. And Howard looks at him seriously. I've been having the same dream ever since our last mission, every few nights.
You
How's that possible?
you try that damn mask on, did you?
No, certainly
No.
not.
Well, I mean, aside from losing a fella, you didn't have anything else happen unique to the two of you.
We looked at the. I guess we looked. We were both there, and we looked at the same. Get me some water, please. We looked at the same equations.
There was a lot of weird stuff in that place.
Yes.
Well, I can't exactly go on a whole lot other than weird stuff, you've seen.
I mean, you've seen the book, the Nazi flag, the letter, the room I described with the French mathematicians in it.
Point of order: both Irving and Thaddeus have not seen the flag. None of you took that with you.
Oh, I would have described it because I mean that's trivial for him to just draw it on a piece of paper.
Sure.
Yep.
Alright, well, it shouldn't be too long now.
Do I know anything occult that does group dreaming?
Yeah, you can make an occult roll.
Oh, cool.
So while you're trying to ponder that, Irving, you do see three individuals stealing out in the middle of night, and I know this is a daytime scene, but it's idyllic. So, three individuals that are having a fourth one out in front, and they're quietly stealing away from London proper as quickly as they can.
Right.
Occult-wise, there have been instances of shared trauma in the past that cause people to dream similar dreams, and on top of that too, it could be a shared vision or a shared experience. You're not entirely sure.
Okay.
Alright, it looks like those are fellas. Let's get in.
Can we make out that the first person is not is sort of dressed differently, has a mask on his face? Any details at this point as the characters can make out?
It's still pretty dark.
Okay.
You can see that this individual is larger than the others, but yeah, he's out in front and he's
But
being
not at
led
gunpoint
on.
or anything.
Not that you can see from this distance, but
Okay. Yeah.
it is dark. So
Yeah, they're
Got it.
slipping away though, so Irvin's confident. Alright, let's keep a good distance. We don't want them spotting us. And just keep track of where they're headed to. And yeah, he'll radio to my 5 or whatever, and corroborate the situation, the direction they're headed and stuff, and try and make sure they've got a lead on them, basically.
okay. So as you do that, go ahead and give me a stealth check, please. And you can do this for a group if you wish, or each of you can make an individual one.
I feel like we should probably make individual ones.
Do you really want me to
Irving
roll
isn't-
under 13?
Irving is not
Under 10?
Can-
experienced.
I'll roll.
Okay. Yeah, Irving isn't experienced with spec ops of any kind, so
Can
I
I
Yeah, go
roll
ahead.
for everybody? Because I imagine the way you guys are talking, I might have the highest stealth.
probably if it's higher than 10.
Yeah, it's higher than 10.
Yeah, and if anyone is more than 10% in stealth, you can go ahead and get a +10 from that.
Hey, it's me. You can get a +10
Hey.
from a doctor.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Because I am at 13. I've got training by failing real hard in France.
Oh, crap.
Rough.
Okay.
Well, that's
and
tough.
then let me see here. Okay. They begin to quicken their pace.
Dun 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 dun.
I guess
Yeah.
we quicken to follow.
Yeah, Irving is gonna try and cut around a bit, as it were, and try and get a lead, literally.
Go ahead and give me athletics then.
Alrighty, yeah. That I'm a little bit better at.
Oh,
Hey!
You make it all the way to marathon.
yeah, you are able to just book it and get down low and do a Naruto run right around them.
Yeah. Wow.
To where you're out in front. Gonna put you up there.
Yeah, he keeps that distance, trying to track where they might be going, if there's anything that seems suitable for this ritual or what have you.
Sure. The rest of you, do you let them continue and let them kind of try to quote unquote lose you?
Only if Irvin says that he still is tracking them, then yeah, absolutely. If
Yeah, I guess if we see Irving peel off and he's booking it Naruto run real confident like, we'll slow down. Still like keeping track of them, but
Mhm.
like letting them like move ahead a bit.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to fall back and they pull ahead, and probably about, I'd say, an hour goes by of them at a pretty steady trot. And Irving, as you've gotten in front of them, you can hear them behind you. Mainly because the guy out in front is panting hard. He's huffing and puffing and wheezing, and the other three are shouting at him to continue on. But eventually they do come to what appears to be a level field, and they look around, and since you speak German, you can hear them talk to each other. We've lost them, right? And they pause for a moment, look back. Yes, I think so. Good. And you hear the jangling of keys as one of them says, "Get down on your knees." And the one out in front just starts sobbing.
Yeah, and Irving will get a shot from on high, lined up for the guy who looks like he's about to approach the guy.
Okay. Yeah. So the guy pulls out a key and from a key ring and begins making his way towards the guy out front. The other two, one is looking behind them, and the other one has a pistol drawn on the guy in front.
Alrighty, yeah. So once he's watching to confirm that the guy looks like he's going to put the key towards the eye, and the moment he confirms that, he's going to take the shot on the guy with the keys.
Okay. Go ahead and make that shot, because that's what he's doing.
Alrighty. So now we got confirmation on that at least.
Oh, shit.
You can't
Look
tell
at-
the story better than that.
Look at
There you
this.
go.
You're making up
Wow.
for Graham.
Wow.
He's a proper soldier. He's no spec ops, but he's
Yeah.
fucking on point with that gun.
So yeah, go ahead and roll. If I remember
I mean, a
correct,
garage hurts.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're not pleasant
It
guns.
was the D12, right?
It is
Yeah.
the D12.
But
So
the
it'd
crit
be
does something.
it would be
Oh,
2D.
no.
It would be 2D12. So
God.
go ahead and roll another D12.
Oh, fuck. Another D12. Okay.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
'Cause
No,
it's a
like
crit, yeah.
yeah, just what does this look like? Because you fucking melon this guy like Gallagher.
Yeah. So we've
The
already
sludger-
got one captured alive. More info would be good, but he doesn't want to give them the chance to. If
To
this guy lives,
perish
he
in
could
a
just
puff of
shove the
light.
key and they could disappear. He doesn't want to risk it. So he lines the shot up, and sure enough, accounting for the wind and such, the guy's head just explodes, pretty much. There's a ting from the helmet as he catches the guy from that angle, just above, as there's a dent in, obviously, as the guy collapses to the ground.
Yeah, there's shouts. You hear you three back here hear shouting up ahead. The sound of a gunshot echoing out across the hills. What do you three do?
Run towards the shooting.
We running.
Yep, that unhides the shotgun from his overcoat and starts running forward.
Yeah,
All right.
Tommy gun drawn.
Okay, so we're gonna get into combat here,
Yes, we
and
yell forwards, and then he appears and says, "What?"
so this one's dead. I'm just gonna remove him from the board, but these two are left. This one was pointed towards the guy on the ground, so he did see the muzzle flash. He's going to try to make his way up and shoot you, but let's go order of dexterity. Irving, what's your dex?
15.
Damn.
Nice.
He is a live boy.
And I think Howard has the next highest.
Howard is 15 as well.
Oh shit, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so the two of you are going at the same time. This one is looking around, this one over here on the right is looking around for where the gunshot came from. He is in a panicked mode, but you're able to crest the hill. So Irving and Howard, you two are up first. What are you two doing? How do you want to do this?
Is the other one like staying by the prisoner?
He's still close to the prisoner, but he's making his way up the hill towards where you can assume Irving was.
Okay. Howard is gonna shoot the one closer to the prisoner.
Okay.
Sweet. Yeah, Irving will aim for the other one. This one, he's trying to do a bit more non-lethally, obviously. The more of them alive, the better, but he didn't want the one with the rings, the keys to get a chance, basically.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Both of you make your shots.
Righty. I think since I put it into the grand, it should do it all in one now. It does.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta click the... Okay.
Okay, nice. Both of you succeeds. So 4 damage. There is a piercing shriek coming from this one over here as Irving just tears into his arm with a non-lethal bullet. And Howard, you are coming up behind and shooting this guy, and you clock him center mass. He lets out this high wail as you hear the sound of a bullet tearing flesh. Air Doctor and Thaddeus, what are your dexterities?
13 for the doctor.
12 for that.
Okay, these guys are just they're on 12, but Air Doctor, you're up.
The 4 and the 8 damage didn't kill whoever was hit?
They were shooting at 2 different targets.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, and hit 2 different targets. Just updating my notes. Howard is near me, right? And I can sort of see where he's aiming, and I'll just shoot the same guy.
Okay, go ahead and
So
roll
obviously,
fire.
it appears he's shooting to kill.
Yes.
Yep, then I'll just follow. Pa pa pa!
Yep, it goes wide, but this guy is starting to collapse down onto the ground. But yeah, the shots ring wide. This guy up here is just full-blown panic and terror, and he's just down on the ground sobbing. Thaddeus, you're up. I'll let you go before them.
Right. Thad will blast the one that has been taking the lethal fire.
Okay, that'd be that one there.
Slug him.
Yeah, I've got it in. Let's see. Yeah, I should have it in your on your character sheet there. Raven down at the bottom. There should be the Colt 1911, and over on the right side there should be a dice to click.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm clicking it and I get nothing. I mean, I get the box pop up, ask for a modifier. And
Yep, 0 modifier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to. It's fine to leave it blank.
Yeah, I just click through that every time.
I know what you mean. I'm used to them. I did the same thing earlier because I'm used to it popping up a number after a moment once it loads. But
Yeah, no, I click through it and nothing.
you can always just do from the skill itself for
Yeah,
firearms.
if you just want to click
Okay.
on the firearms there,
All
that
right,
should work, and
and
I'll
then
see
you can
what's
just roll
going
the
on.
damage manually.
Whoa.
Of course.
Okay, shots go wide. Once again, there's this large blast that echoes out as Thaddeus runs up with a shotgun.
And misses.
And misses.
That takes talent there.
So this one is starting to go down on one knee, but he has a pistol. He's definitely not happy, but between Thaddeus and Howard, you two were the ones that he's terrified of the guy running up with a shotgun, and he knows he got hit from Howard. So who wants high or low? I'm going to roll to see who he goes after.
Low.
Okay, it is high. So he's going to go after Thaddeus. He has a 40%. He misses. He pulls out a pistol, starts shooting back at you, but it's going wide. Bullets are whizzing past your head. This one is definitely panicked, but he sees the doctor, so he's going to shoot. 30, 32, so that is D10 for 4 damage, Air Doctor.
Disbelieve?
Well, roll sand because you're getting shot at.
Yes. Sanity. Yeah, her doctor doesn't like getting shot at all.
Understandable.
I bet.
So that
He's deserving. He's just used to it.
it is. What is that? I'm gonna say it's a D4 at the moment. So okay, let's take three sand damage.
Oh man. Okay. Yikes. It's a violence check.
Yes, against violence, as
Okay.
someone is shooting at you. But you can dodge if you want.
Yeah, I'll dodge that.
You will sacrifice your action for the next turn to do that, but you can
Oh,
dodge.
100%. Like the doctor would even run away if it saves his life.
Makes sense.
Yep. There, easy.
Okay, nice. You were able to dodge. You're able to dodge out of the way, so no damage for you, but you're still getting shot at. So that's
Yeah,
an
you hear,
okay
you
roll.
hear him. Yeah, you hear him yell. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
So back to the top then. Both Irving and Howard.
Yeah, you hear in German, Irving calls down, "Stand down and you make live," after his next shot, as he shoots at the guy who just shot at the doctor.
Okay.
So he'll say that after he takes that shot.
That
Sure.
is so cool.
Okay.
But,
Howard's shooting at
I
the same
forgot
guy.
I forgot to use my
Ouch.
fancy button.
The same guy that Irving's shooting at, or the
Oh
one
my god!
I'm trying
The one
to
I
keep him
shot
alive,
before.
but it
Okay.
might not work so well.
Yeah, with 15 points of damage. So go ahead and yeah, both of them are dropped. As the two of you just go to town, and then Irving shouts out what he wanted to shout out.
Yeah. And then he realizes he kind of looks down there and realizes there's no movement, and you hear him curse, "Fucking bastard, damn it!" And you see him start moving down from he was basically prone up on towards the top of the hill as he starts moving down towards y'all.
The doctor's hiding behind a tree. It'll have to be Thaddeus or Howard telling him that the fight is over.
Howard doesn't tell the doctor that the fight is over, but he's
Yep.
moving towards the guy with the mask
Shooting
He doesn't
stuff?
have his gun fully raised, but it's like up, and he still has it ready.
Yeah, and Irving kind of closes down. Thaddeus, I suppose you could try and stabilize him, or they. Irving kind of gets up there and tries to check pulse as well.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah. Damn
Um,
it.
this guy up here, he is whimpering and sobbing as he's rocking back and forth.
Hey, what's your name? What's your name? And Howard's just gonna kind of like put his hand on the guy's shoulder and kind of like stir him to focus.
Is it gone? Is it over?
It's over. It's over. You're fine. He's looking at the mask. Does it seem to be as fused with his skin as the other one was?
In the dark, it's hard to tell, but it appears to be on pretty tight.
Or you see Irving kind of step over, kneel down. Hello, fella. Don't you worry. We're here now.
The doctor turns a flashlight on.
Yeah. It's
Does he
over.
speak English?
Yeah, he appears to be English. Appears to be British.
Oh, not a French peasant this time.
Here, let me get this thing off of you. And Howard's gonna try to take the mask off of him.
Okay. You go to start trying to peel it off, and he starts screaming.
All right. We're not gonna do that right now. Then that's fine. He's looking back towards the doctors, maybe.
Are there any more of them?
No, there's not. I tried to get away, but they cornered me. And
It's all right,
they
fella.
put this on me.
Do you know
What is it?
anyone?
Get it off.
We'll try, but listen, we need to make sure that they aren't going to hurt any. Well, they're not going to hurt anyone else now. But were you alone? Did you know them, or did they just?
No, they caught me pissed drunk in a pub. I don't know any of them. When I woke up, they had this thing on me already, and they told me they told me I was gonna be their way home.
Don't worry. Was it already stuck on at that time?
Fucking yes, it's already stuck on.
All right. They must have done it while he was out then. He kind of looks to the others.
Yeah, and Howard just
The
like
hospital
nods
fix
to
you
him.
right up, son.
Listen, it's very important that you tell us anything that they told you. Anything you might have heard.
And he pauses for a minute and he rocks and he can tell that he's thinking they were complaining about Trelleborg. How it's piss cold up there. That's they had to go back. It was time. The heat. They were getting noticed.
Is that a Danish town?
Yes, it is.
So it's connected to the
fucking
gold.
knew it. That explains, yeah.
The gold keys.
Alright, that sounds like a good bit of info. Tell you what, fella, we're gonna get you back to MI5 and we're gonna get you taken care of, alright? We'll get that mask off. Have you right as a rain. Thaddeus here's a proper doctor. He'll see to you.
Okay. It's just. What was he gonna do with that key?
Don't worry about that now. You're not in any pain, are you?
No, I'm not.
All right. That's good.
The
That's
doctor
good.
walks around. Is there anything notable about why they stopped right here? Anything prepared? Anything that out of the ordinary?
Give me.
Yeah, I think Irving. Now that this guy's stable, he'll see her doctor starting to look around, and he'll join him.
Cool.
He definitely wants to help try and see if there's anything like that around.
We
Yeah,
can't leave
either
the
of-
guy all at once.
No, that's what.
Either of you can give me an alertness check, or one of you can help the other one for +10.
I got 30.
Alertness, or would search apply? I mean, either works.
It'd be alertness in this instance. This is you looking around. Searching is taking time to search an area.
Dang, nothing.
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't apply my +10, so I just roll myself.
Oh, I thought we were rolling separately. Sorry.
Oh,
Yep,
that's no problem. I
that's
can
fine.
I can still succeed.
Yeah.
Watch this.
There you go.
Hey.
There you are. But that's
Okay.
good because now I get more alertness.
Yeah.
Then, doctor, give me an occult check.
Oh, I have that. Oh, come on! The one
Oh
time.
fuck. It's always the
Um,
ones we're good at for some reason.
If anyone else has an occult, what the doctor is noticing is he's looking around this field. There are what appears to be stones that appear to delineate pastoral walls. They appear to be simple stone walls. That is the most noticeable thing that stands out right now. But if anyone else has a cult that the doctor is pointing out, it's like the doctor's looking around. This seems like a normal pasture to you.
Mhm.
In the meanwhile, not see you guys hear Irving over there radio back to my 5 and start reporting. You know, we've got 3 hostiles down, 1 survivor, non-hostile, etc. Blah 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 blah. All that. You know, start to have them come in for cleanup.
Howard's searching the bodies while everything's going on. Okay. Got it.
Yes. So,
At the least, you'll find a keyring.
Yeah. Got a
at the
key ring
least.
and 3 more suits.
Irving,
Wow,
you could
3.
make an occult roll if you wanted, if you have it.
Oh sure. Yeah. I've got 10.
Hey,
We'll
you-
see if he's really
you'll-
lucky. No,
Oh,
Oh,
no.
he's got no fucking idea.
You get a nosebleed.
I mean, there's one way to find out, Irving.
Ooh. What, you think that fumble might lodge something in his head?
Yeah. Take that key that the guy had in hand and jam it into the guy's face.
Nope, Howard's got that now. He's not
Yep.
giving it to you.
That's
It's,
one
a
way
sci-
to
it's
find
called the
out.
scientific method. That's not cruel. What else can we?
I don't
do?
think Irving's interested in suddenly ending up in enemy territory
Oh
potentially.
no. Same with the doctor. He likes to observe from away and not get shot at. Yes, he will ask. Once he can't figure out what's happening with the field, he'll walk up to the Englishman, ask him about his name, and then introduce himself and say that his name is, I am Wilhelm. Who could you be?
Right, my name is Caleb Reed.
Cool. It says, Mr. Caleb, do you does a violin how do I explain? Does this melody mean anything to you played on a violin? And then he tries to hum what the consistent nightmare he's been getting.
He squints, looks deep in concentration. No, I can't say that it does.
Did the Germans often say the word vorwärts or arts in reference to someone else?
They said the first one, yeah, but
Vorwärts?
yeah, they also said that They said a name. Rothke. That's what they said. Yeah.
Rothke? Did they
Yeah.
actually pronounce it that way, or was it Roski?
That's right. Yeah. Sorry, my German's a little rusty.
Yeah, don't worry. Roski, as you think that's a person.
Yeah, they kept saying under storm.
Führer, Untersturmführer.
Yeah, that's it. Rothke. Roski. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's very very helpful. I bet. Thank you. Roski. Aha. Anything else they said about what they were going to do to you, or why you are how you are the key home?
No, they didn't.
Well, this is very unfortunate. I'm very sorry this happened to you. And if there's a bystander, it almost appears like he's what do you call that? Rehearsed that line.
Yeah, it feels very robotic. he's so in shock at the moment that he just doesn't pick up on it.
Yep. Well, sometimes the doctor's trying.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
So you were able to gather him and take him back to town.
Yeah, and I imagine MI5 or whatever will take care of, gather the 3 Germans up for autopsy, all that.
Yeah, so as you are relaying to Colonel Gray everything that you have done so far, and with the name of Trelleborg, he pauses for a minute and he goes over and pulls a book from the stacks and flips it open and he goes, this appears to be an old Viking fort of some type. It's Trelleborg, that's the name, correct?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
Yes, it appears to be.
Viking, you said? It's not a proper town then?
No, it's not. It appears to be in the southern part of Denmark.
And the others would have mentioned the essentially ruins, like ancient looking shit, hanging around there, right?
Of the field?
Yeah.
And you,
The
yeah.
remains of the walls.
Give me a second here and see. Oh yeah, with him. Oh, interesting. Well, that's. There are certain stories that are holdouts of a long time ago, fairy stories and the like. And the field that you're talking about used to be a wooded glen, and people could go in there and never be seen again. And he pulls out a map of the British countryside, and he shows the plot of land that it's on. And he goes, now, this is interesting here. And he kind of gets out a sheet of cellophane paper and puts it down on top. And there's this one line that goes right through it. And it appears to be a curved line. And he goes, now, this right here, is anyone familiar with ley lines?
Irving, I imagine, would have no fucking idea.
Sure, the doctor says. Well, of course.
What, you mean like lat launch or something?
Not
Supernatural energy.
I mean, there's fairy tales. Up in north, it's commonplace. You can hardly escape the wives' tales about fairies, but fuck if I know anything about this.
Yes, well, ley lines, as the doctor was saying, are a form of supernatural energy, but the significance of that is not unnoticed. That for our enemies were trying to use that field as a means to get away. It seems like.
Well, does such a ley line also go through the house that collapsed? Is that the pathways they take?
Let's see, and he gets another sheet of paper and sketches it over London itself, or places it over London itself, and you can see a lot of smaller, fainter lines get thrown around. And yes, but this one looks weaker. It's how you gauge these things is very tricky, and I'm not an expert in that.
Well, maybe if this is a transportation network, then maybe you would want to get an expert.
That's possible.
I don't know if the others might have like the occult or pathology type expertise. But I mean, the first thing, me out of character, obviously, I don't think Reed would realize this, but would be like something like the Rainbow Bridge, etc. Pathology.
Well, their air doctor is fluent in occult.
Yeah.
The others, they have some occult.
I'd
And
love
then-
to bring it up, but I don't think it's anything
about-
Reed would know about. So
What about Trelleborg?
Trelleborg appears to be an old Viking fort, but you can go ahead and give me an occult roll on that, Doctor.
Oh, cool.
yeah, because that's what I was getting at, is because if this place has all these stories about it and stuff, then there may well be something similar with Norse
the
mythology.
The Germans are big into Norse mythology.
Exactly.
So with a success, you bring up Trelleborg and the ley lines, and he goes, "Oh, that's interesting. We haven't sketched those for a while." But he pulls out an atlas of Denmark and pulls up Trelleborg, or not pulls up Trelleborg, but he pulls up the area to the west of Copenhagen, and finds the sheet that he's looking for and places it down, and you can see a convergence of lines all going to that point. It's like a focus point.
Hmm. This could be what you would call a hub. Yeah, transportation hub.
It appears so, yes.
If they actually use ley lines. The crazy part is that they seem to be using human sacrifices, as this brilliant doctor, as he points at himself, suggested earlier. Mr. Kellerbreed seems to be one of them.
I don't know if we'll be able to get that mask off without, well, ruining him. But when we interrogated the fellow earlier, he did mention that they walked some kind of path, right? And that there would be doors along it.
I assume those could be junctions in the ley lines or exits. I guess maybe where several ley lines converge is where a spot is to hop in and out. Maybe.
I guess that would make sense then. Do you think they planned on picking up people at multiple points or something? Because, I mean, I can tell you I was watching. That fella was approaching with the intent of putting that key into his eye. There's no doubt about that.
That makes sense. That would be the rod that we pulled out of the other man's face.
So the question is whether they have to. And then there's kind of a click, because Irving would know like routes and stuff like that, you know, SIGINT, all that kind of shit, military science. It does that one, if they were to follow that up to there, and then is there another line that would lead across from there more directly to Germany in any way?
And he kind of traces the lines out for you to show on the sheet, and it looks like there's one main line that cuts through there.
Through where? Through just Germany in general?
Yeah, and then
I see.
it branches off into several smaller
Yeah,
lines.
it's like a highway.
So
Yeah.
what you want to bet that they had to make, it's like a plane, they have to stop and refuel, as it were. Get another fella, sacrifice them to make the line, because there's no direct line from here to there. So they have to go around.
Why do you think that they need to go back to Germany? I believe Denmark is occupied right now by the Germans, so
That's
They can-
possible, but I mean,
they can do as they please from there.
true, but that would explain the routes that they're using. I mean, if it is these ley lines, then now we know exactly where they're going to be when. We just need to find the right ruins, the right old places that they're using, and shut them down, stop them from getting in. So, I mean, theoretically, if you're talking about this like a supply line, then we just have to identify where they're going to be when, or where they might try and use along these ley lines. And just watch those places until someone tries to use it, whether they come through or go. Right?
Well, it currently appears, I think the missing piece is we don't understand is the Doorwarden, Mr. Forwards, because it appeared that these three gentlemen were able to go into the network or the ley line whenever they wanted, as long as they have a key, which seemed to have been provided, and
the fellow did mention that.
and a sacrifice. So the question is, what is the role of the Doorwarden? Does he just give them the keys early on, or is he needed to actually go open a door?
Well, it sounds like the people using the keys and such don't necessarily know the ins and outs of it all. I mean, from what they said, the fellow we interrogated, the door warden gave them their instructions where to go when, and then the keys themselves. So presumably he's the expert on all this. He's the one we need to capture.
As a player, are the keys at all labeled?
No.
Damn it. Because he somehow knew, the German somehow knew which key to use, unless, of course,
Well,
any key was okay.
As
well,
you
no, yeah,
look at the
that's what
keys,
he said.
there are,
was,
as you look at the keys, there's etchings on the keys themselves, like like the rod that you pulled out of the individual
Would be
head.
able to tell them apart, potentially.
You can
Yeah,
tell
and
them
I think
apart.
he did mention that the door warden told them what keys to use where, etc. Right?
Ah, okay. I had forgotten that.
Yeah, I believe that's what he said.
Yes, that is correct.
But so he's like the key guy in the Matrix. Sort of, he has the keys, but he doesn't. They don't need him to travel. They just need him to give him the right keys, and then they are independent.
Yeah.
At least
So
that's
that
our current theory.
presumably he's the one who knows how it all works, and without him, they wouldn't be able to figure out how to get all the way through. Well, judging from what they're saying, out of character, it sounds like they might get stuck on the path, as it were.
Yeah, the thing that's also interesting is that it wasn't just one person that had a rubber suit. They all did.
Mm-hmm. So that means, and that would make sense with the radiation too. That's why I was going to ask earlier, is out of character whether the suits were leaded in any way.
Not that it appears.
Okay. But still, I mean, if there's something really powerful happening, that would make sense then if they all need protection for it. It wasn't just unique to the one guy who was stressed out by it then.
Oh yeah, and the note actually, now that I'm reading it, it doesn't say make sure to pack up the suit for Idrik. It says to patch up. So there was just a fault with it.
Mm-hmm.
The other, I think maybe an interesting critical piece of information is: are the eyes of the other three suits also blacked out?
They are.
They all are. Okay, so yeah, maybe there was just like a hole or something for Idrik that Idrik or whatever his name is. To they wanted to make sure that he is really well protected while going through.
Or even if he was paranoid about it, it might have been something inconsequential, but he's scared even. Yeah.
However, you might have noticed that none of them took the time to put on the suits before going for the sacrifice.
True.
Right? None of them changed into their suit and said, "Okay, we're ready now to go in."
That is the case, yeah. None of them were trying.
None of them were in the suits. Nope.
Yeah, interesting. So that would.
Despite us thinking that one of them is Idrik.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting then. Well, I suppose.
Could just signify that there's a process that's initiated.
That could be.
Yeah, exactly. Could be that they ram the key into the guy's face and then they still have 10 minutes while something builds up. Instead of them immediately disappearing. Who knows? The only way to find out is to try.
Well, yes, we do have a prisoner, one of the spies. We do have the mask that you were able to peel off of the previous victim.
I suppose
and
I
a set
don't
of keys.
I mean, Herr Doctor is not
Another way.
suggesting that.
Yeah, Irving actually.
Just for to suggest it.
I mean, I don't really see another way other than using it. And I mean, if they were prepared to take one of our fellas just out of a bar and do that to him, well, I don't exactly have any sympathy for him. I
Well,
say we get whatever we can out of him. Let your man interrogate him proper, get every ounce of info, and then make use of him. Cold or not, I don't see another way about it.
What about the name of Untersturmführer Roski? Is that something, Herr Colonel, that you are aware of?
Well, let me think about that for a moment. And
Take your time.
Irving, you can make a roll too for Sigint.
Okay.
That name doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah,
Well,
when I went with
what is
Sigint,
the
I made
Sigint
sure to
for?
also get German. No, yeah.
Nope.
Should I also roll Sigint if I have it?
If you have it, sure.
Nice.
Nice.
Anyone that has it can make a roll.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, nope, nope.
All right. So, from here, what is your plan of action? We do have some means to get you near Copenhagen, but then it'd be a short hike to get to Trelleborg, or you can.
I mean, we kind of know what to expect if we do use the mask on him.
It seems
So-
very, very foolish to use their technology without knowing if we will emerge from in some very dangerous situation. That seems very ill-advised.
Aye.
You do remember the key that the person was going to use in the field if you wanted to expedite it. Or
Yeah, I
use
imagine
that
he
one.
had it out separate.
Yeah, is that key in some way, the notches on it in any way decipherable?
It was he had it in his hands as he was shooting at you, but
Yeah, the others were still on the
before
key ring.
Howard lit him up.
Yep.
But I think the problem with that is if we were to use it and this path is some other place or whatever, I mean, we wouldn't know how to use the rest of the keys or when.
That is correct. Yeah.
So I say, aye, we go to the other end, see what we find, and then get any info we can out of him. I mean, if he can explain what to do where, that's better than nothing. It's clear they have more than one copy of all the keys.
Yeah. Can we? We already have a set of keys. Do they all match up? Like there's now two of each.
There is not. They all appear to be different.
Really? So maybe that doesn't matter then which key they used because.
Give me an alertness check there, Doctor.
Oh, sure. No.
Okay. Yeah, they all appear to be different to you.
Can I do
'Cause
an
that's weird,
alertness
right?
check?
Sure.
I mean, Irving would be kind
Yeah,
of looking
you all
into
can
it.
look at it.
Because the doctor would say, "Hey, wouldn't all these keys have to be the same?
Yeah.
If everybody gets one set to go home."
They all appear to be different sizes, different shapes. The one thing that stands out to both Howard and Irving is that as you look at the keys closely, that even though they're different shapes, there is one key on each ring that has identical equations.
So they're all different, but then that would presume this one is the one that they would have in common, which is this place then, eh?
And if you compare it to the one that they were about to use on the victim in the field, Caleb, it matches with that one.
Wow.
So you could designate that as the home key.
Interesting. Well, I suppose aside from the info, all we can do is wait.
It's just
Keep looking
markings on these keys, not the pattern of the keys themselves. That
Mhm.
is the same. Yes.
I
Correct.
believe so. Yeah.
So it is. So we assume those markings are what actually sets the destination, not at all the shape or length of the key.
Correct.
Yeah.
Does that match up with the other equations proper in the book and such?
No, those are different.
Okay.
Howard sighs, and out from his bag he'll pull out another mask that hasn't been used that he found on the bodies, and put it on a table. We could perhaps use this in the threat of a key to interrogate the German.
Oh, he's certainly getting moving on.
I'm sure this thing probably scares him.
I'm willing to bet he's seen what it does, presumably. Well, assuredly. Well, suppose we know what we're doing next then. Get what info we can out of him and head up to Copenhagen.
So you pull him out. He is better. He appears to be more stoic than the last time that you saw him. But yeah, you begin brandishing about the mask, and he kind of looks at it with wide eyes. Who is going to take point on a persuade check?
You can't see me, but I'm just shaking my head no.
Okay. Irving's only got 30, so I don't know.
You'll get a plus 20 from the mask.
Okay.
Okay, so Thad is actually not bad at this.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the doctor's got 20. He's happy to help.
Okay,
And if someone assists, that'll give you an extra plus 10.
Sweet. So plus 30 total.
Because he speaks German. He can make the threats in German if necessary.
okay, so I do custom percent, I guess.
Yep, I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, should you be able to just punch it in? Ooh, there you go.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely starts. He doesn't start sobbing, but you can tell that he is very freaked out about the prospect of getting that mask used on him.
Hmm.
No, please, no.
If you would tell us everything you know, then perhaps we wouldn't have to experiment.
What do you want to know?
Looks at his companions and sort of shrugs and says, why don't you start at the beginning?
Untersturmführer Roski collected a bunch of us a while ago, and under the orders, or the orders of La Cour d'Or, started branching us out, started testing the keys on people. And the envoy commissions Untersturmführer Roski as Vorwart. And from there, we've been very successful in getting people in and out, moving things across the country. Hell, we even got here. None of you noticed until just a while ago.
Was ist das? La Cour d'Or? Was ist das? The doctor says.
That's the name of the group that we all fall under now. We're the new branch within the Reich.
Huh.
New branch or separate leadership or
We were. Let's see. There it is. We were.
Oh, the Heart of Gold.
The
No,
Golden
that would be
Dream.
the Golden Dream. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, it would have been cour otherwise. Huh. And that's in German, huh? That's so funny.
No, that's French.
Sorry, what I meant is the Germans are using a French name.
Oh yes, yes.
That by itself is interesting.
it has to have significance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we. Himmler wanted him gone. He wanted the envoy gone. He didn't trust him, but as soon as the envoy started showing what he could do, he came from lands far away and he showed what he could do.
Envoy.
Bertrand Guido.
Care to elaborate?
He took people and showed them and taught them the different maths of his land, and all within the promise of making a better Reich, and that's what we're here for.
His lands, as in.
He's the envoy to the Lord of the, and he struggles at this. You can see that he's trying to explain something, but the words escape him. I don't know. I there's not a right word for it.
Well, what's the closest word you can manage?
Lord. He serves Guido serves his lord, and his lord is very powerful.
What is this? Some cult shite or?
Does it look like cultish to you? It's.
I mean, you're sticking keys in people's eyes and teleporting about places, so it certainly seems a cult.
And what can you do with a key? You open a door. That's all we're doing, is just opening the door.
So you're saying this envoy came from wherever the door leads, then?
No, he came from, and you see him like he's struggling to come up with that name. Like it's just escaping his tongue. He came from across the sea, and he promised a better Reich, and Himmler wanted him executed on the spot, but the Führer said, "Show me what you can do," and he did. He took Untersturmführer Albrecht and he showed him the math, and then he took Untersturmführer Rothke and showed him a different form of math that opened up the doors.
And this math, do you or any of your fellows understand it proper?
No, we just not really.
Is that why they had the Frenchmen separated out? Because they could?
And he looks confused at you. What?
So you're not informed proper then. You know the Huntmaster?
Yes, Untersturmführer Albrecht.
Yes.
What's he do? Why is he the Huntmaster?
Because he can hunt people. He can. What's a hunter do? They kill from afar.
Using the doors. Or...
No. He didn't get the gift of doors from the envoy or from Gyodol. He got the gift of the hunt of killing our enemies from far away.
What? I mean, anyone can take a rifle up. I don't see how that.
No, you don't understand. From far away, he could do it if he knew about you and couldn't be seen.
You mean like the doors, except instead of teleportation, he just kills folks?
If that makes you think about it better, yeah.
So then, why hasn't he just wiped everyone out then?
I don't know. He was trying to get better at it. He was still rough at it the last time I heard.
Oh, and Irving kind of looks to the others. Do you think that's what the range is for then?
Quietly, the doctor just nods.
That would explain all those dead folks. Fuck's sake. And this path you mentioned while you were loopy. What's that like? You have your suits and all, but you didn't have your fellas didn't have them on when they went to use the key.
Thank you. When I didn't come back, they were probably on to me getting caught or me getting killed, and they were trying to leave.
Rushing.
But if you startled them or if they saw you, they would have risked going through, even though some of them aren't familiar with the ways yet.
And what are those ways then?
Streets, alleyways.
You mean you're literally going through doors in different places?
Yes.
All the way to where you want to go?
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He kind of looks around, and you obviously didn't give him anything, but there's a piece of paper by him, just in case he needed to write. You weren't sure on the capability of his tongue, and he grabs the paper and he goes, if I'm over here, and he holds the left side, and I want to go over here, but I have the key, and he just folds the paper together. I just have to walk the distance between the two. The key lets me walk the path.
But you
But
still
it's
have to walk
sh-
the whole distance?
No, it's a lot. It's shorter than the distance as a whole, and he spreads the paper flat.
He says, well, how do you know which key fits which door?
They all fit. Every key works. It just takes you to a different place.
So how do you know what? I assume you're filled in on which key leads to where then?
Yes.
So then, first things first, go ahead and start writing down what keys go where.
Right? We need a key to the keys.
Ha!
Yeah, so he will start writing that down.
And yeah, I assume we would have photos of the keys.
Yeah, you could have pictures taken of the keys.
Yeah,
I guess
he'd
as a-
bring those for him to.
As a thank you, we'll give him some water. Because he's cooperating. And this time he gets it in a cup, not through a towel.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, you have a description of the keys and where they go.
But that's interesting, because initially we thought maybe you walk the path and you get past doors and then you have to open the doors. But it seems like which key you use to generate the jump is what determines where you go.
Yeah.
So once you're on the path, you're not diverging anymore. You don't have any choice. You've already chosen where to go.
Yeah. it's
Do you
just
say
a
that
matter
out
of
loud?
holding Space.
No. That's just me as a player sort of summing up that there was a change in how I initially understood it to be. I thought
Okay.
initially you just walk on a path and and then as you pass doors, you're like, oh, I want to exit here. Use the right key to exit, but that's not true at all, because he's said several times that you need to just use the right key, and that'll determine to where it folds the space.
So he holds up, or
At least that's how I understood it.
the different
I
keys
concur.
that he has. He says there's one going to Hungary, one going to Poland, the home key going to Denmark. There's one going to Sweden, one going to Italy, and one going to Berlin.
And he says, and as you use the key, that becomes the exit. Also, that determines the exit. Yes, you can't just change your mind.
That opens up the door when you're on the path too. You can walk from the path.
Wait, so let me get this straight. If I was in the field somewhere here and I used the Denmark key to open the door,
Yes.
and then I go into the pass, can I still choose not to go to Denmark?
That's correct. He pauses for a second and gets kind of confused and maybe a little frustrated when he's thinking about it, but he's like, anyone that I know has done that, they stay in the path. They stay there.
So you're not allowed
So
to
so
take that.
diverge from the path at your own risk.
I don't know if the keys will open other doors that you find if you stray from the path, but this and he holds up the Denmark key. This key will open the door to the path to take you to Trelleborg.
And then you need to know what roads and literal alleys and places you have to go down. So you go through a bunch of different places on the path.
Yes. The key will show the way, but you can choose to ignore the key. And if you want to see the rest of the path and see what else is there, you can. I don't know if you'll come back or not.
And how does the opening of the door work in particular? Because I think as players we haven't actually talked about the whole sacrificing thing at all.
Yeah.
No, but he goes. The mask has to be applied, and the key has to be inserted and turned, and
then you pull it back out.
No.
But then how can the key show you the way if you leave the key behind in someone else's skull?
Oh, actually, no, you're right. Yes, it gets pulled back out. Or no, sorry. Mechanic-wise, sorry, I got a lot going on.
So that's why they have more than one home key, essentially. Presumably.
Yes, there we go. Yep. Sorry, yeah, I had the mechanics written down, but it got jumbled for a moment. Yeah.
So the key does stay behind.
Yeah.
The key stays behind to open the way, which is how you found it in the building.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And they have an extra to open the door on the other side. But they don't need a sacrifice on the other side to open that door.
Yeah, because after they use the key on the person, after that they're on the path. They just use whichever key is needed as they continue to proceed down. Presumably out of character, my presumption is that they're literally being teleported through multiple doors in multiple places, potentially around the world. And if they stray off of that path, they might not be able to find it again somehow. Is what it kind of sounds like.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Because he mentioned that they go through alleys and down roads and all stuff, and I mean, unless he's speaking very metaphorically when it comes to alleys and roads.
Government operation when he sent a chimp through.
You know, I suppose there is a clear way. You know all the doors and such. So he kind of turns to the others and takes them aside a bit and whispers, if we were to use the key, right, and then have someone on the other end, someone here can use it, and we can see if they show up at the other end proper. I mean, it'd be very risky, though. It sounds like wherever this might take you, I mean, there is a chance of not coming back. And it doesn't sound like they just get lost. Sounds like they're trapped somewhere else. It seems
Yeah,
like
it
each of
seems
is quite understand.
very risky. I have a question for our spy here. And the doctor walks back over. Listen, why does it need a human head? Why don't you use a cow or a sheep?
He thinks about it for a moment. You could try that. I don't know if it would work or not.
Are you telling me the Germans haven't tried that? That seems ridiculous.
I don't know if other people have. I haven't.
Fine. Who gave you the mask? Who provides the mask and the keys? Seems expensive.
Untersturmführer Roski.
Roski, he fabricates them.
Yes.
And what does the door warden do then?
That is the door warden.
Oh, Roski is the door warden.
Yes.
And why is his name Vorwärts then?
That's he looks at you. That's door ward in German.
Are you making that a weird thing, Danish? On
No.
purpose? Oh.
Let's see. I might be
Because
spelling it.
Vorwärts literally means forward. The word in English, forward. Forwards is vorwärts in German.
No, I'm using. Here, let me just put it in.
think it's just a pronunciation thing. Or...
That's what I'm saying. That word literally means forwards.
Oh, okay.
It might just be translates.
That's a bad
You know,
Google
it's very
Translate
close
then.
actually to the. You notice that in English, it's actually still very close to the original Anglo-Saxon word.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
No. That's okay. I could have been part of the mystery, right? That's what I was asking. Okay, so now we know that Roski and Vorwärts are the same person. That is cool.
So door warden is the figure. Yeah.
He makes the masks and keys. Dang. Out of curiosity, he says, how does the mask stay on the face?
I don't know.
You just stick it on and it stays.
Yes. I don't know where he gets it.
Huh.
Well then. You have a list of all the other sites you've provided us. You're going to need to also tell us where exactly the keys have to be used, of course. Where in those places.
Yeah, how do you know where you can enter? Does it work from anywhere?
It sounds like it's something to do with these old places, eh?
So I'm trying. What is it like? The doctor's trying to not show that we have a theory about ley lines.
Yeah.
He's trying to see what the guy says without us prompting him.
There's certain lines that you can find that run everywhere. Even if you have a weak enough one, you can use it.
The doctor says, "Lines? What are you
Yes.
talking about, man?"
He kind of looks at you. Let's see, what would his? Nah, he looks at you skeptically. He goes, "It is. If you do not believe me, then that's fine. I cannot."
No,
commit
but
to
I
it.
mean, I have an atlas. What kind of lines are we talking? There are plenty of lines.
Lines of the earth, ley lines.
Ah, ley lines. You could have said so. Okay, interesting. I'll write that down. Thank you. It's just, I mean, for us as players, it just independently confirms our idea.
Mhm.
So, yeah, from there now, you have that information, and I'm not going to run a game as long as I did before. So, I think this is going to be a place to end it.
That makes sense. I assume we'd just get whatever other info we get.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have more info about arts at some point, that would be useful too.
Let's see. For him, give me.
Yeah, because I imagine our higher ups would also want to get more info out of him.
Yeah, he'll say for arts, he kind of looks nervous. Teritia sits. She's been needing more bodies, and the last body I got for her from here, I haven't heard back about it yet.
What did you call her?
Teresia sits.
Oh, that's her name, huh?
Yes.
And she needs. You bring her bodies? Don't you have
Yeah.
enough bodies in Denmark?
No, she's requesting officers of our enemies.
Oh,
Or
I don't know. That I don't know. The smell from even that region is terrible to breathe in, and I drop them off and I leave.
do I remember given that completely incidentally, the doctor was part of, up to a year or so ago, the Nazis' sort of secret underground lab people. Does he remember her name from Nazi Facebook?
Nazi book. Give me an intelligence check.
Like, maybe she to him is a known, terrible person.
Yeah.
Intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, you've had run-ins with her before. She hasn't been a specific part of your little underground research lab there, but she was deep in with what's his name? I just said it a little bit ago.
Rotsky?
No. Himmler. There we go.
Oh, she got power then.
She was deep in his group when she was peeled away to this group. You didn't hear about this at the time, and Lakudur, that's a new group to you. You didn't recognize that, but if she's working for them, they must hold something of value to her. She was definitely into the study of the brain and what you could get from a corpse posthumously.
yeah, that's about what I figured out of character. That's not good at all.
I called for a zombie episode. But they will all be officers, so they'll behave properly. Cool. Very intriguing.
Yeah, that is the last piece of information there that you'll get on that. From here, it'll be up to you to determine which way you want to go. Do you want to use the mask and go through the ways and paths, or do you want to sneak your way into Denmark and get to Trelleborg that way?
I think our best bet out of character is probably to go there manually.
Agreed.
And then, because I think it's too risky.
Pad's already packing for sneaking aboard a tramp steamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof.
Okay, sounds good then. Well, thank you all for playing, and I think that's a good place to end that there. Of course.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was incredible.